All right. It says we are live.
Let's see here.
What up? What up? What up?
First
This is our makeup day.
First of our September podcast. Oh,
No, we were on last week.
September though.
Wasn't it? Was it August?
Yeah, it was still August.
It's been more than 9 days, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I guess it was like
We
the
are
last
not
day of August.
On yet.
Well, we are. You're just not seeing it yet.
Just not.
No.
Give it
You
a couple
can
more
you can
seconds.
wait till it comes on. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man.
Just don't be talking none of that racist white supremacist shit now that we're on air.
Whatever. Dude, it feels good to actually sit down and just chill for a sec. It's been a hell of a week.
It's been a fucking hell of a week. I'll tell you that much.
Yep. Come on, baby.
I have been hopping and popping as of yesterday. No, what's today? It's Thursday. So as of Monday, when we started, I had 3 roof jobs going on, 1 exterior repair, and a bunch of appointments in between, which has hindered my surfing time.
We are not on.
I mean, we're on. Try refreshing the page.
I'm gonna go real quick.
Or shut it and then go back.
Because usually there's a little thing. Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
All right.
I told you we were on. All right.
All right. There's nobody watching yet.
Well, I mean, we just went on.
I think there's.
And it's Thursday. I even tried to get Randy on because I wasn't sure if Jonathan's been real busy too, coming to the end of his season.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't sure if you were going to make it, so I started hitting people up just in case because I thought about doing it solo, but man, what the hell am I going to do solo? You know?
Sit there and read fucking Charles Dickens.
That's a talent. Like, I watch some of these guys like Bongino, but he's doing more of a newscast. The only other guy that I know, it's good, huh?
That is a trip. Because it's a mental fuck because it's clear.
Yeah, well, it's in the right light. It's like a piss yellow, like a hydrated pee, like a light straw color.
Buddy's got me trying some Japanese whiskey.
Hey, the Japs, man, they do a good job. The Chinese too. Like, everybody associates China with cheap shit because they do mass produce a lot of cheap shit. But the Chinese cars, if you look at how they develop their car industry, their fucking cars are awesome.
Really?
They are great cars. I had one of the, I guess it was in 2007, 8, 9. I had a truck. It was it's a knockoff of a Toyota Tundra. It's called a Deer. And the reason why they can't sell them in the United States, except for the fact that they'll crash the market, because you can get, like, at the time, this is talking about 2009, you could get a Lexus quality car built and designed by the same people that worked at Toyota. The Chinese just hired them. And you could get it for about $12,000 versus like $40,000 at the time. So that was probably the real reason. But the reason why that they stopped them was because basically they have these companies. One's called Deere, and the symbol is a Toyota sign with an extra line. And then the cherry looks just like Chevy.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying it was like copyright infringement, but that's some bullshit. I really think the reason is the quality. Because if you remember, and you probably don't, you may remember the tail end of it, but back in the early 80s, Japanese cars, like Toyotas, were cheap and they were pieces of shit.
Yeah.
You know, they were the response to the gas crisis.
Right.
You know, cheap gas. And over the course of like 20 years, they became like really quality cars. Now Toyota is the best fucking car you can buy. Truck, car, whatever. Now you can like Chevy all you want, but when it comes to dependability, your Japanese cars are better.
Absolutely.
So the
my
Chinese
favorite car ever was my 4Runner.
Right. The Chinese didn't want to go through that 20-year period, so they wanted to fast forward. So they hired all the Honda, all the Toyota, all the top guys that were doing what do you call engineers?
Yeah.
And they basically cut out that 20-year period, and they started producing cars. And last time I seen one was in Costa Rica, when the bar manager had it, and they're lovely cars, but.
So we are on. Thank you, Joshua Fuchs said we are live
Fuchs.
on YouTube. Joshua Fuchs every time. But welcome back, everybody. Just Buddy and I flying solo, the OGs here on How Copy Podcast. So let's see what we got going on. I know you've done some scouting. Since the last time we went on. I've done a little bit of scouting. This weather needs to fucking go ahead and kick rocks.
I took advantage of the cool days we had after the hurricane and went out and put up some cams. Old school cams. I'm getting kind of jealous of these motherfuckers that have the cell cams.
I have one out right now, but I have the old school ones. You know, I haven't. It's weird this year. I don't know if it's too hot still, and they're just not moving as much. I know some people have gotten stuff on cam.
Yeah.
But I found a lot of good signs. I'm not going to give away my area, but I have a live cam out there that, checks in every 3 times a day. I haven't gotten shit on it, man.
Well, that area that you're in,
Then again, it was like that
it's
last
not a
year, too.
good early season area, but in that area, in my experience, during the early season, there are some very good, in the past, I don't know about this year, but there's some very good bachelor groups, like the Bucks are
Yes.
big. As soon as they start shedding that velvet and they start getting a little bit more testosterone, then they stay dispersed like they do.
Right.
And typically that area is going to be inhabited by a dominant buck because of the area. I don't want to give too much away. It's just usually inhabited by a dominant. But we'll just stick with that.
There's always one. He takes over.
He takes over, and that's what he does. He pushes all the younger ones or the less dominant ones out, and they go searching for their own area. And then in the late season, they'll get back together. So in that area, and I've never killed a nice buck, and I've hunted in that area now for about 7 years, 8 years. And I've killed some deer, but I ain't never killed a trophy buck or anything worth mounting. I see them. I've seen them going in. I've seen them away from me when I'm bow hunting. I just can't get a shot and they won't come. I've blown a few shots. But the area you're in, if you move out of that area, I'll move right the fuck in.
Yeah, it's a good area. Right now. And it's a nice little pocket of that area that not a lot of people are aware of. Yeah. Even though there's a lot of people in that area. But
I've found some good spots, man. I've got I set up a ground blind for the rainy days and when I got to take the kid, and Jody likes to go hunting now since she got her first deer last year.
Sweet.
And it's just a lot easier to bring a kid because they like to fidget around. So I put a blind under this oak tree's got to be like 500 years old and it's full of acorns. So it's
acorns.
Acorns, yeah. I said
I like that.
I'm used to saying egg. I call them acorns. Yeah, I didn't even know they were acorns until I started hunting. I always thought they were eggcorns.
Acorns? I mean, they look like eggs, I guess.
But so
say you're wrong.
My terminology, my accents, like even now, when this guy asked me today where I was from, and I said Fedville, and I've never spoken like that, but I got that terminology from making fun of people that are from here.
Okay.
Because if you're from like Stedman, Autryville, maybe not quite all the way to Wilmington, but in between here and Wilmington, they'll say Wilmington.
Yeah.
Fedville. You know what I mean? And I started making fun of them saying that, and then it just kind of stuck in my...
That's funny. Like in Virginia, where my grandpa's from, it's Norfolk, but Norfolk.
Yeah,
Norfolk. If you're local, you call it Norfolk.
Norfolk.
I
knew a guy from Norfolk, and he called it Norfolk.
Norfolk.
Yeah.
Norfolk.
I mean, but he wasn't from there. He was a Navy SEAL, so he'd been there for 20 years. One of the older Navy SEAL guys. He was from New Mexico, Southern California, New Mexico area.
Yeah.
But yeah, Norfolk. It's kind of like New Orleans. You ever heard that? Like
Nolans.
Nolans.
Yep. No. So yesterday I was just browsing around the internet, and Buddy and I have talked about this before, but I wanted to kind of and we're open to the chat. So please, if you're watching, get on the chat. We'll interact with it.
This is one of those nights too where we ain't got no agenda.
We don't have an agenda tonight. We're gonna talk about it, a little bit of hunting, a little bit of whatever, man. It was a good week for surf. Jellyfish were real bad. Oh, this is crazy. We'll get into that, but there's a fucking bacteria in the water, man.
Oh shit.
3 people actually died in July.
Really?
Yeah, and when I went to Carolina Beach last time...
What does it do? Because I am getting some weird rash.
Andrew, our buddy we surfed with, his fucking face got infected, man. It's like MRSA or some shit, but it's a real nasty fauna that's in the water. Flora, fauna, whatever the hell the word is. But there was a guy who was a fucking older dude, and he was commercial crabbing, and he got a pinch in the finger, didn't even think about it. And it drew a little blood, but later that night he got rushed to the hospital with a fever, and he was freaking dead from sepsis within 3 days.
Damn. Okay.
So just be careful. And it's always normal because we got a lot of there's a lot of shit that gets into the ocean when the pig farms are a big thing. Mm-hmm. You got all those pig farms on the way to Wilmington, along the Cape Fear. Yeah. And unfortunately, when we get these storms, it washes all that shit into the water, and it is what it is, man. But I've heard stories. Avoid it gets and it's weird because Andrew and I went out. And I went to his place last week, and the waves were real. Just they didn't feel like they wanted to be in them. Mm-hmm. The ocean didn't feel like it wanted people to be in it. So I was I respected that, and I just chilled out. We went for a walk, but stuck my feet in the water, and my feet got real itchy. Oh. I don't know if it was sea lice or what, but
sea lice was bad the last time I was there.
Yeah. So Brian Ward says, "How was the week after the storm?" Well, the surf was amazing. Oh God, it was huge. I had a flashback of Hawaii, and I haven't seen a wave that big face to face with it because I went to duck dive and Andrew too. My buddy Andrew's a really experienced surfer. Andrew, if you're out there watching, shout out. He's one of the homies, as well as Martin. But Martin was just, dude, I'm fully convinced now. Like I know he came the day of the podcast last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was just phenomenal to see a dude on waves that big on a longboard.
On a longboard.
He backs up his shit, man.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was really, really good. It was good. It was good all week. We have a little bit of swell right now. There's more stuff coming. There's a hurricane on the way.
Yeah, super one, superstorm. And I've been watching that motherfucker like the playoffs.
Oh, I know.
You know, I keep a track on the storms that as soon as they develop right off the coast of Africa, I start looking at them and they start projecting. And the one that formed is basically like the last one hooked back in and basically joined up with the other three that were out there.
Yeah.
And they're expecting like 165 miles an hour, and it's coming right for us. But if the weather pattern that's sitting here now, and I'm not a meteorologist, and if it shifts to the right, it's going to push it up towards Nova Scotia. Mm-hmm. But the chances of that happening, when it comes to weather, the chances of that happening are like 1 in a million or more. So it's
getting pushed.
Of it getting pushed. Of that. See, we're sitting, I don't know. We've got like a weather system that's sitting right above us right now. That's where we're getting our hot weather from.
Yeah.
And there's some cold air that's moving in from the northwest, and then and then there's an El Nino this year, so the water's really warm down at the equator. So yeah, I'm just hoping that the weather system that's sitting here now, I just hope it stays or moves west and doesn't bump out, because
I think it's going to bump out. I mean,
hurricanes are
Flo bumped out inland, wasn't it? Flo, the real bad one we had.
I don't remember.
That's the one I think it was when I almost
Flo,
evacuated.
Florence. That was
Florence.
A long time ago.
Yeah, but what was Matthew was before Florence, right?
I don't know. Matthew was like 2016.
Yeah, so this was this was Florence.
Okay.
We stayed. I was around for Florence because during Matthew we lived in Raleigh, but Fayetteville got hit harder.
Yeah.
And we were going to evacuate, but we decided to hang tight. And then finally, the last night, like I had a buddy he's friends with locals who track all that stuff, and he's like, dude, if you guys live near Grays Creek, you might want to get the hell out of there because like Grays Creek has like crested, and it could be danger of flooding.
Yeah, during that time when Matthew hit, I lived 1,500 feet off the Cape Fear River.
Ooh.
And they were in mandatory evacuation. And I told the guy, I ain't going nowhere. Fuck you. First of all, I'm up on a hill and whatever, because they always get you. It's almost like they get you on the weather it's like news.
Yeah.
They want you tuned in, and they make it sound a lot worse. Even
man.
Our bad hurricanes aren't that bad. We're so far inland. Now, if I was on the coast and they're talking about 130 miles an hour, I would get off Wrightsville Island. I would. That's just smart.
Yeah.
But here in Fayetteville, you worried about some flooding. I mean, I had a John boat too at the time.
Mm-hmm. Were you
actually,
in an apartment or were you on the ground?
I was in a house.
You in a house?
Yeah.
See, if I was in an apartment, I wouldn't give a shit.
But then what you got to worry about then is the roof blowing off them motherfuckers. Like there were some people in Florida. It's not funny, but it's funny. They evacuated for the hurricane, and there's some like office jockeys, so they had like a hurricane party on like the 10th floor.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't all die, but a lot of them died because the roof blew off and shit.
Man, ignorance, dude, is bliss.
I just hope everybody's safe, but I hope everybody out there gets their roof torn to shreds, because you can call me and I will get it all taken care of for you.
Contracting.
Yeah.
But he needs that.
Toby a contract. I've been busy this week, and I tell you what, it's another reason that we could harp on where this country's going to shit. We used to have this anti-monopoly thing. You weren't allowed to have a monopoly.
Right.
People that might remember when we were younger, everybody had the same style telephone.
Yep.
It was either a rotary or it had the buttons, but it was tan, green. Some of them were orange or black. Mm-hmm. That was like it, because AT&T owned the patent. They owned all the lines. Well, the government got involved and said you can't do that. It's a monopoly. They broke it up and they formed Southern Bell, Ma Bell, all these different
Pacific
bells.
Bell.
And they had to release the patent on the telephone. Then we started getting cordless phones and all this cool shit. I had a Garfield phone I thought was pretty dope.
I remember those.
Or a Mickey Mouse phone. But so anyway, we've gone away from that, because now I believe, and I might be not 100% right, but I believe State Farm has now bought almost all of the homeowners insurance companies.
We've had a real problem around here with insurance. I've had and this is not because we've missed our bills or we've refused, but I think since we moved here, I've had 3 companies back out of our homeowners insurance. It's like they just say like, oh, we're not going to be your insurance anymore, so good luck, find another one.
Yeah.
And the mortgage company comes along like, well, you don't have insurance, so we're going to penalize you with more expensive insurance.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I was on a roof today, and these people literally had a tree fall on their roof and bust a hole in it like that big. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could literally look down and see the hallway and go in the hallway and look up. And the roof is probably over 20 years old, and it had some missing shingles like they had been blown away. Non-repairable. That's all you need. It's non-repairable. And this guy, State Farm, and he was writing it up as a repair. And he was like, yeah, we'll put it in as a repair. And I'm like, I've never seen that before. I've seen roofs with USAA, which I believe now falls under State Farm's umbrella as the conglomerate. Probably something to do with Blackstone if you really research it. But I'm like, I've never seen that before. Like, this is that this is a non-repairable roof. Yeah. Non-repairable basically means we can't manipulate the old shingles without busting them to get up underneath. And he knew that.
Right.
He said, yeah, well, now I'll put it in as this. I'll give you a square ball. Then you come out here and then you make a claim that it's non-repairable. I'm like, so we just wasted how much time, and these people got a fucking hole in their roof.
Yeah.
Been paying, and I don't know how long they've been paying insurance, but most people have homeowners insurance. And a lot of people think, I run into it all the time. They're like, oh, I would make a claim. They're going to pay $25,000, $18,000 out of their pocket. And I'm like, why don't you just make an insurance claim? Oh, I don't want them to drop me. I don't want my insurance rates to go up. And I'm like, for weather, they can't do that. Okay, they're not going to raise your rates. The only time I've ever seen it in the 8 years I've been doing it was my cousin. We did his roof, and they jacked his rate up. But I didn't know prior to that he had signed a deal of what they call a no claim discount. So it's going to be $200 a month, but if you sign this no claim discount, we'll let you pay $110 a month for 12 months. And if you don't make a claim, and he made a claim. So they were like, oh, you made a claim, so you're going back. So his rates didn't really go up. They just adjusted to what they should have been.
Right.
And it was fine print that probably he didn't even read when he signed the...
Yeah, nobody
But
does.
they're not going to... The insurance companies can't drop you for making a claim on your roof when it's due to weather.
Right.
They will drop you if your kid's always breaking the fucking window, or your husband gets drunk and you make tuna casserole 3 times in a week and you put your head through the wall and you make a fucking insurance claim on that. You're going to they can drop you for that because those are like miscellaneous type claims. But
these companies are just dropping randomly because of the weather here. Like I guess they take over the contract and it's too much for them to handle.
Maybe they got bought out. Maybe that's what's happened. Maybe they're all they've been pushed out of business because a lot of insurance companies are just, what do you call subsidiaries? Subsidiaries. So we can start our own How Copy homeowners insurance, and we can like join up with State Farm, and we'll basically write policies, but they're like daddy. They really covering it. So I don't know. I don't understand it. I'm like I said, I'm on the way out. So all these new changes, I'm not staying hip with.
Yeah.
Which like today, I've never heard that before, and the guy said, "Yeah, we just started doing that." I'm like,
interesting. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I know you're taking a break from the United States for a while, but future's kind of scary, man. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and they're talking about another lockdown.
It's
gonna fucking happen.
It's gonna happen.
It
only happens though. Here's the thing: like the last time, I get it. The last time I didn't do it. I didn't do anything. And if you remember my Facebook post, I was like, people were like, well, what are you? Because I was like, you guys ain't doing a fucking thing. And they're like, what are you doing? I said, well, one thing I'm doing is I'm not complying ever. Okay. One time they threatened to land the plane, and I was going to Cancun, and not Cancun. I was going to Cabo. And my ex-wife at the time, she was all being pissy because I was being a rebel. So I was like, fine. I put the bandana over like the tip, and that killed me. That hurt me. Like, I felt like they put a leash on me. But I think you're going to have a lot more hesitation this time. But I think ultimately the majority of people are going to fuck us, and they're going to comply. Yeah. And it's just going to be...
And then the economy's going to go, whoop, some more.
Yeah. There's going to be fucking guys like Steve Randall out there talking about... I'm just calling him out because I remember he was like, just put the mask on. It's not that big of a deal.
Goodbye, fucking middle class. Toast.
Yeah. You're all fucked. You're all fucked.
Yeah, we're all fucked. But you know what?
Biblically, and I'm not a Bible guy. I'm not a religious person. I'm not an atheist, but I'm a I don't know guy. I don't pay attention to none of it. But if you read Ezekiel, I think it is, the prophecy of and I'm not going to quote this. I was talking to a minister, a guy who knows the Bible, and we were having a very nice conversation because he wasn't trying to save me, and I wasn't trying to call him an idiot. But the way he was laying it out in Ezekiel, and if you're familiar with it, the predictions and all that, the United States is on the losing side of that.
Yeah, we are.
We're not on the fucking biblical side where everybody thinks that like America, God's country and God's no. Like seriously, like I don't know. I know the end of the world was prophesized back in the 70s whenever, or the 50s or 60s, whenever it was, when Israel comes home. And then when Israel became a country, a lot of people thought, oh shit, this starts the end of days, but that can be interpreted so many different ways. Maybe it meant that the Israelites coming home to God, not just to their borders, you know? So anyway, read it. If you're a biblical person, read it and look at it. I think you'll find that we're not on the winning side. Unless that's what you want to hear. The Bible's one of the things, if you want to think that America's on the right side of things, then that's what you're going to get out of the Bible.
I mean, everything's subjective. Everything can be flipped to a certain point of view, but well, you know, there's no point in dwelling on that, though.
I mean, Nicaragua's in bed with the Russians.
Yeah.
I feel okay about that.
Yeah.
I feel okay about that.
So we got a few more people signing in. So
sweet. Who is it? Anybody?
I don't have any names. I just we went up a couple viewers just now. So welcome again. Welcome back to How Copy. One thing that's really back to hunting. There's food this year is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Food sources. So.
You see them grapes?
Yeah, the grapes are going crazy. That's one thing I noticed, man. The acorns are nice and fat. Mm-hmm. The grapes are everywhere.
I haven't seen them. Maybe I haven't been looking either. I know I've seen acorns. That's all I've been hunting.
Or the grapes.
Grapes. I haven't seen them. I found persimmons. I found a lot of persimmon trees that aren't even producing this year.
You might not be paying attention to it because they're not fruiting yet. But if you go out there, I'll point it out next time. There's freaking grapevines literally covering every surface.
Those are fucking good food, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for us, I love muscadine grapes. But
yeah, the deer love them too.
Yeah.
So, and you know, those grapes will ferment too. Mm-hmm. And the deer will eat them, and the deer will get kind of careless.
Will they get tipsy?
Yeah, dude. So that's good, man. That's gonna be. I really think if we get a cold front here, which we usually do around Halloween.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know how it's gonna be. It's weird though, because y'all remember 2015 is when I first moved to North Carolina, and that year Christmas was like 90 degrees on Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there's been a Christmas since where it's been 90 degrees like that. Mm-mm. But it was just...
That happens there was a few times when I was a kid where I had to go mow the grass on New Year's Eve for the New Year's Eve party.
I'll tell you what I can't stand, because I noticed it today when I was driving down Gillespie here. It's hot as shit outside, and the trees are already starting to turn a little bit.
Are they? I hadn't noticed.
There's some oak trees that are turning, and I'm like, fuck no.
Yeah.
I was like, don't do that to me, nature. I hate it when it's hot and miserable and everything's dead. It's
well,
just
last
depressing.
week was I was like... I had the top down on the Jeep. I actually had to put a hoodie on in the morning because it was chilly.
Oh, it was nice, man.
And I went to the woods, and it was nice. And then it just got hot. And I didn't realize how hot it was getting, and I had the top down. And yesterday, me and Jody drove to Smithfield with the top down 95. Sweet. Miserable.
Oh, was
she was trying to play it. Her face was sweaty.
Those Jeeps get pretty hot, man.
Yeah. She's like, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm like, this is miserable. And the bikini tops are not that easy to put back on. I mean, they do fold up, but you have to like manipulate it, and the little snaps always break. So I got them zip tied. I got brand new snaps I put on. They broke already, so I got them zip tied. So I was just like, fuck it. We're 30 minutes, we'll be home. And even that shade, I got that net
I saw
up
that
there.
Shade you got.
That helps.
Game changer. Hey, what's the countdown looking like now? You're keeping track of it. We're like, what, 4 days out? What's the day today?
No, motherfucker. We're like less than 2 days.
Oh, man.
Tomorrow's Friday, right?
Yeah.
So let's do Army shit.
Okay.
Today don't count because today is over.
Yeah.
So technically we have 1 day left, because when you wake up Saturday morning, it's going to be hunting time.
So Saturday's opening day.
Saturday's opening day.
Wow. Are you going to go this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you are. I know you are.
Fuck yeah. I'm not going to get up and go early because I don't know where I'm hunting. I will go out there.
I'll go with you, man.
I'm going to go out there probably about 3 to 4 hours before I want to sit, so I can go check my cams, check my area, see if I got something nice on cam, I'm going to hunt that spot.
Shit, Saturday I can't. Fuck. I didn't even think about that.
I'm hunting the sun
For some
down.
reason, I thought opening day was like next week.
No, it's Saturday.
Man, it's coming up quick.
And I may go Sunday morning, and I may go Sunday afternoon, and then you know how it is. Hunting season, I'm going every day.
Yeah. Goodbye surfing. Here comes hunting season. Well,
yeah, I'll get some surf in. I need to. I wanted to this week, but like I said, I'd be sitting at home at like 6 o'clock in the evening. Somebody would text and be like, "Hey, so and so needs a roof." And technically, I probably could say, "Yeah, I'll get there next week," because most roofing companies or construction companies, we're not doctors. To get somebody to respond the next day, sometimes that can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because during a rush, like a hurricane rush, where everybody's busy, if I find a crew and they can get started tomorrow, they suck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because they're not busy, but I've been responding. I'm trying to get as much money in my coffers as I can before I dip.
Right.
Because I want it to be easy. I want to go down there and I already found a damn Toyota Land Cruiser, them old ones that look like a Jeep. I already found one of those I want to buy. But and I found a 4-wheeler. I'm going to buy a 4-wheeler and I'm going to buy a 4x4, like a Jeep But I can't do all that right now. But by the time I leave, if everything works out and don't have any hiccups, I'll be good to go. So I'm counting that down. I think I'm down to 70 days.
Oh,
now.
wow. And I remember it was 70 days till hunting season not too long ago.
I know.
It's crazy, man.
I know.
I think with the weather, we have a heat wave coming in, but then I looked at the wave report as well. This week's kind of flattening out a little bit. By the end of the week, it's going to be pretty much, lake. But next week, the waves are picking up. So that means something's coming, hopefully.
Well, it's got to. There's a fucking storm out there. Even if that storm hooks up north, it's going to produce swell.
I just hope it blows out some of this fucking ridiculousness, because it feels like July right now.
Yeah, it's stupid hot.
But we also had a late. I don't know if you remember back in June. I was still wearing a wetsuit. This is weird, man. Like, this doesn't happen ever. I've never had this happen in North Carolina.
Was it June?
Yeah. First week of June, I was still wearing my wetsuit in the water.
I don't think so.
I was. It was cold.
No, you're the motherfucker that starts taking his wetsuit off as soon as it goes to like 65 degrees, and you're like, "Oh, I'm so hot."
That first week of June this year.
Was it? You could be right. I remember. I think, because I always think of myself as I'm the last one. When I come out of my wetsuit, it's fucking hot.
Yep.
Because I don't even like to be chilly.
Yeah.
So
maybe, we're just still a little bit like, I always like to think, the way I describe it is, when it's like this, the season's kind of gone to the right a little bit, meaning that instead of July weather in July, you might have May weather in the past in July. And then come August and September, you're getting that July weather.
I think it's going to be a fucking cold-ass winter. I think that the El Nino dictates that.
Yeah.
Because we've had a La Nina, I guess, along the equator, and I'm not going to try to explain that because I don't understand. I just know whenever there's an El Nino that...
All I know about El Nino is it's Spanish for the child.
The boy.
Remember Chris Farley on Sunday? But
I know that because I've been taking Spanish lessons.
Ooh,
so
look at you.
Yeah, man. And I
You
don't
got your
speak
Rosetta
it
Stone,
to
or?
No, it's called Duolingo. It's like an app, and I go on every day and I do it, and it
cool.
teaches you like the yo estoy, yo está, to this.
Buddy, yo estoy, está.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that fucking guy who's like, yeah, we went down to Mexico and had a great time, and my wife bought a piñata.
Okay.
And order the tacos. Like, I'm going to anglicize my fucking words, and they're going to know I'm not Spanish. I hate people that do that. I hate when I say, only time I don't mind it is when I got a Puerto Rican friend of mine. Every time I say Rincon, the surf spot, Rincon in Puerto Rico, he goes, Rincon.
See, here's the thing about
I don't
that.
mind him doing that, but another fucking gringo, shut the fuck up.
There's nothing wrong with that, dude. When you go to a foreign country and they say America in their language, they don't fucking say America. They say Ameriki. They say however the fuck their accent is.
Yeah.
So you know what? Stop. There's a whole video of this fucking bitch, man. I can't stand her ass. Lily Singh. Oh, she's a fucking piece of shit, dude. Yeah. She just loves to hate on fucking straight white people, period. She's like one of those motherfuckers. Like, she has a whole video bitching about, like, she's a joke. Anyways, she has a whole video bitching about, like, Afghanistan. And she's like Afghanistan and Pakistan. It's like, bitch, go to fucking Afghanistan.
The Afghans that I know, they don't even say that. They call it Afghanistan almost. They don't.
But I'm saying, like, when they say America, they don't say America like how we say America. They say Ameriki. They say it in their fucking accent.
They say it in their accent.
So, just fucking people, man.
As you speak the language more, you will. It's kind of like when you maybe, I don't know. I've noticed it in my life because my kids noticed it with me. My father's family is from Brooklyn, New York, and they have very thick. Brooklyn has its own like accent.
Yeah.
And then my mom's family is from down here, Alabama, Georgia, North Carolina. When I would get on the phone with one of my cousins up in New York, my accent would change, not heavily, not to where but speaking to them and using the terminology, it would come out with a different accent. Mm-hmm. So if you move down to the South and you're from New York City, eventually your words will change.
Right.
So as you speak their language, it will. But I'm not going to try to, I'll roll my R's when I have to. But the fact that I'm trying to speak the language, that already gets you like 2 feet in the door.
Right.
Even they'll laugh and be like, "Hey, you're good," but most of them speak English down there anyway. So.
It doesn't, isn't the woke thing to do is like to criticize American people for speaking other languages in our accent?
I don't pay attention.
They call, if you criticize someone who speaks a different language in English, they say criticizing their accent is racist. So
my only connection to that type of stuff is through you.
I know.
And it's foreign to me. Like, I don't give a fuck what these woke people think. And then I hear it and I'm like, there's a little part of me that might get mad, but I'm like, does anybody pay attention to that?
A lot of people do.
Like who?
The entire internet.
No, I'm on the internet. We're on the internet. I don't.
But you're right. In real life, it doesn't. None of that shit matters, man. The only reason I bring it up because
did you see the thing that I posted? That one lady, she's talking about the woke white people. They're the ones that the people that do that are the privileged ones, and it's not about that. It's only about having power at that point to have a moral high ground.
Right.
And I just don't pay attention to it. Like I don't care what the guy in the fucking car next to me or my neighbor, I don't care what anybody thinks about me. So, I mean, I do to a certain extent. I don't want nobody thinking I'm a lying piece of shit, white trash motherfucker, because I'm not. I don't want people thinking that's wrong. But if you think that it's like this whole cultural appropriation, like I know people from other ethnic backgrounds from different countries. They don't care. So if they don't care, then no one else matters. So.
Well, it's just dumb because it's like.
Well, then don't subscribe to it. You keep bringing it up.
But it's a real thing, and like you'll hear it, and you'll hear it a lot, and it's like a giant echo chamber on the internet. And it's sad to see that so many people think like that because we'll never fucking advance past.
But it's only white people that think that way.
Dude. No, it's not. No,
show me one actual non-white person that thinks that way. I'm talking like not from the behind the gate, not the like affluent. They can be black, Puerto Rican, they can be Mexican. If they're from like Beverly Hills or they went to Harvard, they don't count.
Right.
That's the privileged class.
If you're from Los Angeles, you don't count.
Show me somebody that is on our level that subscribes to that genuinely, and then I'll tend to believe it because I've never met anybody that really thinks that way. Never. And I know a lot of people, bro. I'm not like a shut-in. I mean, I'm not like Mr. Popularity or nothing like that, but I'm not a shut-in. I know people from all over the world and all walks of life. I don't know.
But you're right. It doesn't.
I'll bring that up at the next white meeting.
Next white meeting. Yeah.
Like we gotta do something about these fucking cracker motherfuckers, man.
The next white meeting.
You know what the problem is too? I do see some of that stuff on the internet. Not to the point where trying to speak a language. That's stupid. Anybody that thinks that is stupid. If I'm trying to speak a language and they think I'm appropriating something, that's so stupid that they don't even get my attention. Like, shut up.
There's a lot of hate, but you know what?
But it's the white people are the fucking problem now. You know that, right?
I think it's everybody, man.
It's
every American.
People.
I think it's Americans that are the fucking problem. American privilege is real, dude.
Well, yeah,
it is.
The privilege.
And, we bitch about so much stupid shit, and like, because I'll go on there and I follow this page called Foos Gone Wild, and it's a play on like Chicano culture in LA, and what. Fucking this is my point on this, all right?
It's called Foos
Gone Wild.
That's
hilarious.
That's your first problem. Stop watching that shit.
It's funny. It's amazing. It's awesome.
I keep forgetting you're a millennial, right? And that's not a knock. That's not a knock. That's not me putting you down. I'm not better because I'm from Generation X, but there are cultural or there are generational differences in the stuff that groomed us as kids. And 5 years is nothing when you're 40 and I'm 46. Or you're 41, or how are we 5 years apart?
Yeah.
That's nothing when you're in your 40s, but when you were 10 years old, I was 15.
Yeah.
So when you were 10 and you were playing with Ninja Turtles and stuff, I was sticking my fingers up your, I shouldn't have said that because your sister watched it. You get my point.
Yeah.
I was trying to get busy. And there's a lot of, there's a lot of maturity differences. So, but you're right on the cusp, I think.
So, for instance, on this page, what was a good point? Just this is stupid, man. This is a stupid mentality, and I just want to put this out there into the internet because I want people to think. You can't fucking call someone out. For instance, there was someone took a video of these white, I don't even look white actually, they just look like, they're in like fucking somewhere dumb fuck America, right? And it's like a carnival, and they're dressed like fucking cholos, you know, whatever cholos are. But someone took a video and they're like, oh man, what the fuck? And then all these people are like, what the fuck, Whitey? Like, fuck you, Whitey. Yeah. You can't dress like that. And it's like, but if it was someone else doing it, for instance, in Japan, they have a whole lowrider culture. Yeah. And they go fucking like all out, but to them it's a fucking costume party. Yeah. They don't live in the fucking hood. They didn't struggle with that shit. To them it's the same shit that those fucking that they think these white kids are doing it for.
Yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing though. Have you ever met any like actual cholos?
Yeah, I grew up with them.
They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. They do not give a fuck.
They don't.
I've never met
younger
one.
Kids now who are claiming that shit,
but they ain't real.
Exactly. Thank you.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I know some fucking, I wish I had these pictures because a lot of people don't believe me. Like, I was, and not that I was hanging out there because I'm not from Los Angeles. I never lived there, but the Mexican Independence Day Parade, not the Cinco de Mayo, the one that's in like September. Yeah. Like, I was on, it's called Julio Cesar Chavez Avenue now. It used to be called Brooklyn Avenue and Arizona Street with the Arizona Matavilla set. Because the guy that I was with was, I don't know if you ever retired. I don't know if it's like the mafia, but he grew up in that neighborhood. So me and my brother were there, and we were kids. I think I was like 15. It was fucking great. I got a real insight into gang culture at that young age. Not because there was no violence going on. It was all happy, but you saw like Grandpa. Grandpa had Arizona tattooed across his forehead. Yeah, this is generations. It's not just all. I mean, of course, it's rooted in vice, you know, whether you call it crime or not, but it wasn't all bad. Like, we were two white kids hanging out there, and I was wearing a fucking wife beater and Dickies, and the guy, Trenny, the guy that took us out there, he was like, yo, you got to put your shirt back on. Yeah. Because that's like those cops out here, and I got to look into, or behind the scenes look at police brutality, not from a standpoint of getting beat up, but from getting studied by fucking cops like I was a criminal and I wasn't doing anything.
Like my little incident last week in Wrightsville. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. But I'm not, fuck that shit, man. But no, my point is just like, there's a lot of tension.
What were you doing? Let's break that down.
I was parked and I was hanging out.
In the Johnny Mercer's?
Yes.
And there's people sitting on their
People sitting on the balcony, and I was, I was just chilling because we just got done serving.
What were y'all talking about?
Nothing. Just hanging out. And like there was, we know a lot of people out there, right? So Kai came out and the Groms came out. Our buddy Gavin and Fisher, and it was just nice because these are people I've been surfing with for years.
Yeah. You don't give us the nuance. Were you guys talking loud? Like, were you cussing?
No.
I'm just trying to find a reason on why somebody would call the police.
Nope, we weren't. And I'm sitting there, and fucking I'm parked, and I'm fucking just chilling. And Kai came around, and as he's leaving, I gave him 5. So I get it. I look like riffraff, okay? I don't look like.
But you don't though.
Come on now.
You don't.
Compared to the normal people at Wrightsville.
You don't.
Okay, let's do the fucking checklist. Okay, I drive a fucking beat up minivan. I have a bunch of tattoos. I have crooked teeth, so I obviously don't look like I belong. Okay, I look like a fucking poor. Okay, because I am. Well, I'm middle class, but still.
I think you blend in down there.
I don't. I always feel like I'm getting fucking judged. Oh yeah. So anyhow, I'm sitting there minding my own business, and fucking here comes. I'm walking back to my van. Now I did pull forward. Okay, I have to explain something. I have disabled vet tags, okay? Mm-hmm. There was a time when I couldn't fucking walk, all right? But the thing some people gotta understand about the VA is when they rate you, it's for life, okay? So there'll probably be another time when I won't be able to walk, okay? So I had parked in the handicap space, all right? Just temporarily, okay? Because I wanted to be close to the beach. And I have been having a lot of back problems lately.
If I had plates on my car, I'd park there every time.
So that was the catalyst, I believe, all right? So we're losing viewers too, but I'm going to keep fucking talking. Oh. Either that or people's internet's cutting out. But so I'm sitting there and I'm walking back to my car and all of a sudden I see this cop come pulling around, that loop. And he's just fucking, like, he's not taking his eyes off me. He's driving around, his head's fucking stuck on me and his car's going around. And he pulls up behind my car. So I'm like, what the fuck?
Because you're not limping, you're not old, you're in a handicap. Yeah. He's going to give you a ticket.
Well, here's what happened. No, and it wasn't him. The people up on the balcony that were behind us were staring at me, and the lady was doing this, like looking at me like that. I think she's trying to read my license plate. And so I got out to go shower.
But that lady's not a local. That's an Airbnb.
I don't give a fuck,
okay,
dude.
All right.
Like, I feel like that always down there.
Okay.
All right. So, anyways, I go to my car, and then the cop comes up, and he's like, as soon as he rolls back, another cop walks in front of my car. And I'm like sitting there by my door, and I'm like, what the fuck, right? Because we're not doing anything. We're just hanging out. All right. But I kind of got that vibe. Like I could feel something was up. Just wait. Those people were staring at us nonstop. And so I'm like, okay, so what's this about? So the cop goes, do you have a placard? Or first he says, do you have a license plate on the front of your car? And I'm like, no.
That's not a
Nobody in North Carolina does. And then he's like, oh, do you have a placard? I'm like, no. I'm like, but if you check my tag, I'm a disabled vet. And he goes, oh. And then he's like, did a car drive by earlier? I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, and I'm like, yeah, that was my buddy. I said, I'm going to take a shower and I'm leaving. Like, I feel like people are looking at me crazy. Did someone call the cops? And he goes, I can't tell you that, sir. I'm like, whatever, man. So
I
was
think
like,
y'all were being loud and saying bad
No,
words,
we weren't.
and those people were trying to have a good time
Nope.
in their lily white vacation, and you were out there,
Yeah.
motherfucking, it was the
Nah, dude.
and
None of that.
And back in the old days, somebody might have said, "Hey, man, have a good time, but can you watch your language? My grandmother don't like to
We
hear."
weren't saying anything.
But people won't do that nowadays.
you know
'Cause
our
people will be
buddy
like,
Nick.
"Fuck you, motherfucker."
You know our buddy Nick showed up. And he met me there. Literally, for a split second, I don't know why, but I'm just paranoid. And fucking, I thought like something was going down for some reason. And as soon as Nick walked off, the cop showed up. It's like, what the fuck? Like, did I just
He
get
set
like,
you up,
yeah,
man.
for what though? I didn't.
He set you up, bro.
But anyways, so Nick fucking leaves, but Nick was there, man, and I called him and I was really pissed. Like, so I'm like, you know what, fuck this. And the waves just started to get awesome. I was like, man, I should have gone back out, but I was just over it. But it's just like people are so uptight, man. And you know, I get it. They're wound up because of that incident that happened there a couple weeks ago. Where this guy, there was a guy that went down there, and he was a local actually, and he tried to fucking kidnap one of the cleaning ladies, and she got loose, and he shot at her, and they ended up chasing him all the way out to Market Street and killed him. So I get it.
Definitely a white guy.
Yeah, he was white.
Probably a ginger.
Nah, I don't think he
No,
was a ginger.
I was gonna say
But-
maybe you matched the description.
But another thing too, our buddy, I'm not gonna mention no names because I didn't ask him, but he was working out near the college before this happened, and the same thing happened to him. He made someone uncomfortable, and they called the fucking police on him. And I told when I told the cop, I was like, yeah, I'm a disabled vet. He goes, oh, well, thank you for your service. Have a nice day. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. But it just got under my skin. So I'm like,
you know why you got so mad at that?
why?
White privilege.
Did I?
Because you feel like you're above, like the police should not be talking to you.
I did not feel like that. I just wanted to know what I did.
It's like a grave miscarriage of justice for the cops to come and ask
because you know what? I've had shit like that happen my entire life, even in California. So I'm used to it.
So
However,
you're used to it.
However,
I'm
it's
just playing
like,
devil's advocate.
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah.
But it was a real what the fuck moment because I'm like, what have I done now? Like I was questioning what I'd done. It's like, so now do I feel uptight when I go there now because it's like I have to fucking I get it, and that's.
But you don't though. I mean, I don't know. I've had similar instances like that in my life, and I don't know, man. I kind of give I don't know. Maybe it's because I was thinking about this before. Maybe it's because I don't like conflict.
Yeah.
That I give people the benefit of the doubt. So when I have been quote unquote harassed by police, I've always put it in the context of the one time I got pulled out of my car in the middle of the road and hands on top of your head and fucking
happened
handcuffed
to us in Fort Benning.
and only to find out that the car I was driving and my physical matched the description of like some crime that had just been committed in that area, and I was pulling out of the neighborhood. So rather than be all pissed about it, I was like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the cop didn't do it on fucking purpose. And then one time I was just hanging out with I just pulled into a gas station that was closed and my buddies were hanging out, riffraff.
Riffraff. They love
And
that
we're
word down
standing there and the fucking Officer Oates was the guy's name, and he did some fucking LAPD shit. We got out, frisked everybody, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, I didn't do nothing. But I put it in context afterwards. I was pissed at first, but then I put the benefit of the doubt. He deals with these riffraff motherfuckers that are selling dope, that do usually have it stashed somewhere, and then I forget about it. But anyway, you're fucking depressing me, man. Let's
Sorry,
talk about
no.
this shit. We got fucking hunting season starting in fucking 2 days, motherfucker.
Other than that, I'm pumped. It's just been a weird week because I got some bad news family wise. So it was a downer, and you know my situation with that. So I don't need to put that on the.
Hey, man. We ain't got to talk about it specifically, but did you look into anything that I told you about that? The alternative? Do it.
Okay.
Do it. I look at things and I'm becoming like that guy that went to prison and became a Muslim or found Jesus, and he gets out and he's trying to save you. No matter what, you're trying to live your life, and he's like, hey, man, Jesus. I saw a post the other day, the guy that said, and I'm not down on anybody, live your life, but he said, how many fucking Christmas cakes do you pack in your
your snack cakes?
And then one guy said, I used to pack like 3 or 4 until I got diabetes, and now I like, holy shit. Does the brain not rebel? Anybody reading that? Like, this guy literally said he ate that shit his whole life, and then he got diabetes, so he had to stop. Does that not give you an inkling to stop fucking eating that shit?
Well,
or just, I'm just going to do it until I get diabetes, and then I'll just adjust from there.
I don't want to down it. It's like I said, this week has been an eye opener in a lot of ways. But
so in that situation, sorry, I digress with that because it popped in my head. Get that person, if you have to buy it yourself, crushed black seed. It's just cumin seeds. It's
black lemon?
No, it's black. It's called black seed.
Oh, black seed. Okay.
Crushed black seed, lemon, those breathing exercises, at least once a day. If she can do it twice a day, stay in alkaline, 0 fucking sugar. And that means sugar from fruit. So your fruit has got to be limited to watermelon, berries, stuff like that, because that shit can't live any other way. While they're waiting on another month to do a biopsy?
Yeah. No, they already did the biopsy. Waiting for a month for treatment.
Okay, so you're not doing nothing for a month anyway.
Yeah.
So get on it. And then also, she's in an area where THC, where weed's legal. Yep. You can go and get that vial it's like a big vial of tar. It's like THC tar.
Yeah, that stuff is potent, man.
Yeah, you take like a pill size every day, and then you up it. And man, like I said, I can't speak from experience because I've never gotten cancer, so I've never beaten it myself. But I read the testimonials of people that do, and I watch the people that I know that have died from cancer. They follow the same shit. They go and get chemo.
Yeah.
Or they go start cutting. They're fine until they're like, oh, we found a lump. We just want to check it out. And then they start cutting. And then a year later, they're dead.
Yeah, it seems like
miserably.
That's another powerful thing too, is the mental capacity. Because when you hear about, and I don't want to talk about, I don't feel like I can justifiably talk about cancer.
Why?
Just because it's something like we don't know. We think we know what can help, but we really don't.
But we do.
I mean, I don't know.
No, we fucking do, bro.
But you hear stories of people who are completely fine, and all of a sudden they find out they have it, and within a month they're dead. But it's also
usually it's within a year, but unless it's been malignant for a long time.
Though, it really is.
Yeah, but here's the thing: cancer is not a mystery.
Right.
It's not a fucking mystery, and this is what boggles my brain. Like my diet and my everything now is as if I have cancer.
You're preventing.
So I'm in constant prevention. So if I end up getting it and die a month later, then y'all can all laugh and say, ha. But they do know how to fucking cure it. The problem is the medical industry has got a fucking grip on it because
absolutely.
Chemo is like the highest money-making treatment that a fucking doctor, he can make the most money on that treatment. And people are like, oh, well, that's bullshit. Come on now, the fucking the vaccine last year, all the money, they're literally making you sick so they can treat you. Yeah. That's so obvious. And if you don't believe that, then I don't know. If you can't see, you know what they call grass-fed beef in England?
Beef.
Yeah. They don't have to call it anything else because they're not allowed to fucking poison this shit.
Yeah.
Corn syrup, if that's illegal in that shit's even illegal in Mexico.
Really?
Yeah. That's why Mexican Coke tastes different and it tastes better because it's made with real sugar. Why would you want to then ingest it? That's the mindset. Yeah. Either people in America, they don't care.
Right.
Like, oh, girl, I'll just take a pill whenever I get it,
Yeah. Well, that's with hunting, though. It's not just for hunting. I actually do try to, every season, I try to set myself a goal where I don't have to buy meat at the store until maybe the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
I live off my hunting food. And, but even the sad thing is even with, deer around here, you got PCBs in the deer,
I don't know what that is.
Oh, forever chemicals, man. Just from their habitat. So even eating wild animals is it's like where do we...
Well, a little bit of contamination's not bad, but when you're fucking...
And they don't have the steroids and all that shit.
Yeah, when you literally are what you eat.
Right.
Everybody knows that. You can go and you can eat a bunch of fucking fiber and you're going to be really healthy, but you're going to be really gassy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the way it breaks, if you're going to eat a bunch of fucking sugary, drink a lot of soda, you're going to be fat. You're going to sweat fucking cake batter. That's just all there is to it. Especially when you get real thin, you'll notice when you start losing weight, you eat a fucking donut and it's like, like you might as well just duct tape it right to your side.
I noticed when I go on my little kicks, you just went on a no sugar thing. How'd that go?
I'm still on it.
You're still on it? Well, you're eating
zero,
fruit, but
only fucking blackberries, blueberries, strawberries and raspberries, and kiwi and watermelon.
How's you're past all the crash stuff?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. How you feeling,
great.
man? Do you?
Feel
Have
great.
you been in the water since?
No.
I'm wondering how that, because you're going to hit those energy stores.
No, I'll feel great.
Yeah.
My energy is right now is probably at its peak.
Okay, cool.
And I only eat once a day. I'm past that. I don't even get, like today I ate dinner at 5 or 6 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I haven't eaten nothing all day. I did have a cup of bone broth, which breaks your fast.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I ate. And I'm not hungry. And I wasn't even hungry when I ate. So here's the thing. You're not hungry. Like when you wake up in the morning and you're hungry, you're not really hungry.
Right.
When you want to eat lunch in the middle of the daytime, you feel hungry. You're not hungry. You're just addicted to food. In America, in Western society, you're addicted. Your body can go like 40 days without food and you'll be perfectly fine. You'll be uncomfortable for about a week, but once your body adjusts to it, you're not going to starve. It might take you fucking fat asses in this fucking country. It might take them 50, 60 days before they starve to death. So when you feel hungry, you're not. You're just addicted to food. Right. And not that you're a bad person. We all grew up, got to eat breakfast, most important meal of the day.
That's another thing. I've had this, man, I had a conversation with Matt, my buddy, the other day. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about how we've gotten so far from the norm of the past of what, like, humanly normal. For instance, this is going to trip you out, dude. So what was normal back in the day? You might get up and whatever was available, whatever you harvested is what you ate. A normal breakfast. Now, you got people, like the country breakfast, you got people on a farm who ate abundant if they had a nice farm. Mm-hmm. But the average person's eating maybe a potato, maybe a piece of dried fish, drinking some water.
Or a piece of jerky or something.
Right.
Or what's that, pemmican?
Pemmican or berries or some salted fish with some porridge. And that's your freaking breakfast. And then you're going out and you're working all day in the freaking fields. And
yeah, but right there is like 100 years ago.
But I'm saying,
but go back further than that, and there was no breakfast. You got up and you basically had to go get your food. There was, before we started preserving food. When did that really start happening? Like 500 years ago.
Oh, we've been preserving food for thousands of years. But yeah, when we really start like canning food and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And having stuff that's not available seasonably. Yeah. But another thing too is our brains are devolving in a sense because we're not using our brains for everyday stuff. And I'm talking about stuff we did for thousands of years until about 50, maybe 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. All right. You're going to sleep with electronics. All right.
Yeah.
You are not using your brain for directions anymore. Mm-hmm. You're not using your brain to create. Even people that are creating now are not really creating. They're just recycling shit that's already on the internet.
Yeah.
They're using machines.
Yeah.
And, I know we talked about this a lot, and I agree with you. Like, things have to progress. Mm-hmm. But we're losing touch with our freaking function as humans, our brain function. Think about this. People used to make stuff with their hands, all right? People used to sew, okay? Mm-hmm. That takes brain and eye coordination. It takes paying attention. It takes having focus, all right? Tell me people can focus for more than 5 minutes now.
It depends.
Some people can, but what's funny is like that same stuff. Like you go and find someone.
I agree. Yeah. Ultimately, I agree with what you're saying. I'm all about it. But where I will disagree, or I'll kind of relent, if that's the right word, is I don't believe that not sewing anymore or not using your brain and hand, like what you're talking about. I don't really think that's not the main issue.
Right.
I think the main issue is the way we have become slaves to a system.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, maybe I wasn't sewing, but I was hunting or I was fishing or I was just going to work and doing, you know what I'm saying? But now we're so locked in a system to where you really, if you're going to be like a blue collared guy, you can't eat healthy with a family. You can't afford to. Mm-hmm. And all the food that you can afford is all the shit that's killing you. So you're in a system. You go and you buy Kraft, you buy Kellogg, you buy all this stuff because that's what a lot of people don't know any better. They buy the fucking Oscar Mayer and all that shit. Well, and they become sick over time.
You can't afford it.
And then they go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah.
And they're on either the fucking insurance. So they're paying the insurance. So you're just like a fucking spark to the whole machine. You're keeping the insurance company going. You're keeping the medical field going. So I believe that is probably the worst byproduct of getting away from the past. Now, if I'm a guy 1,000 years ago and I'm in best shape of my life and I'm eating right and you hand me a fucking phone that makes me a super smart cyborg, I'm going to fucking take it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, everybody is.
Yeah, but I agree with what you're saying. I don't, the solution can't be to knock it all out and go, we're never going to go back to that.
Right, we're not. But we can be more cognizant and we can be more aware of things that we've been taking for granted a lot.
Yeah.
And that are just normal human functions.
Right.
How many of you can sit in a car and just look out the window and not have to be distracted, not have to get on your phone for 20 minutes? Just look at the trees, look at the sky, feel the wind.
Yeah.
We surf, so when you're out in the ocean, you get that permanently. I mean, not permanently, but you get forced to be in that. You're not paying attention to your phone. You're not looking at the TV. You're not listening to music. You're out there and you're paying attention to the waves. You're paying attention to the sky. You're paying attention to what's under you. You're paying attention to the heat.
Yeah.
Your muscles, all right? But that was a normal thing for everyone up until recently.
No,
That was
not anymore.
Now you can't, what does it take to just get... And it stresses everyone out, and it makes life overwhelming when you can't get those natural releases. And even sitting in a freaking tree hunting, how many of us whip out our phones?
I do.
I do too, and I'm guilty. But I'm gonna try this season. I'm gonna try not to as much.
No, fuck that. That's part of hunting.
I know,
nowadays.
but I used to go. I didn't really have a cell phone, like a smartphone, until I was about 30.
Yeah.
And I used to go sit up in the tree, and I get on my phone to see if anyone's texting me or calling me, but it didn't have internet.
It's hard to argue with what you're saying.
Right.
Even when you're trying to
I don't
play
even
devil's
wanna argue.
advocate.
I just
I'm saying
point,
it's hard to say that you're not, like, it's easy to agree, but it's hard to agree because it's kind of like when something, let's think about it like when you have an idea. And like, if everything would be great like this, and someone says, "Well, bring it to fucking reality."
Yeah.
Let's be in the fucking reality. Let's live in the place we're at. There's no way that you can get rid of your fucking phone. There's no way that you can we are 100%. It's not, even if you choose to. When you go somewhere, a lot of times now, you have to pay for parking. You got to have an app.
Yep.
There's no more coins, so you got to have it. And so that's, part of it. What you don't have to be the fat fucking, like kids. I saw this thing. Kids are getting stretch marks on their back. And not from being fat and losing weight, but from being slunched over in a fucking chair and it rubbing and being in a gaming chair.
Kids are getting vision problems that 80-year-old grandparents have and stuff.
And there's a part of me that's like, okay, what I need to be doing is encouraging my kid to sit more time on the technology, because that's where the future is. Now, I can raise a fucking cannibal I can Lord of the Flies, but when I have to release him out into the fucking world and he doesn't know about the computers and the audio, everything's digitized, and if he doesn't know that because he's been fucking chucking bones his whole life because I want to raise a caveman, I'm not doing him any good service. So.
Right, but if he can't.
So why can't you have both? The technology is not the thing that hurts you. The technology can help you. What's hurting people is, number one, the public education system. And now I will sit on my high horse to anybody that has their kids in the public education. You cannot bitch about the society. And I know you have kids in the public education system. So, I mean, it doesn't mean we can't be friends, but I'm going to judge people that do that. You send your kids, you bitch about society and all this stuff, but you send your kids there. So the first thing I did was I got tired. I was the same way. All of my children, save one, is a graduate of the public education system. Okay? I did what I had to do. I didn't know. It was like, what do you do? Because change is hard. It's hard. Everything, the kids get up and they go on the bus. And then they get babysat for 8 hours a day. And then
they have 4 hours
and they
of
come
homework.
home and they got, all the homework. And I got tired of it. So I pulled my youngest kid. He's out of and that's now homeschool's got its downfalls too, but there's ways to make up for it. So I think that's the issue. All of our kids, the generations and generations of kids, they go to the public school system. They get out and they go get a job. And their whole job is so they can pay bills, eat unhealthy, and die slowly and feed the machine.
Yeah.
You are the machine. You're not even a cog. A cog helps the machine. You are just the fuel. Like, you're chucking in, what was it? Like the flux capacitor runs on trash. That movie?
Yeah.
So you're like the fucking fuel that they chuck into the grinder. You go down the craft aisle and you get your tacos and, I love this. And, I don't give a fuck. And round is a shape. And I have a 6-pack when I got a whole cake. That's the normal fucking guy. That's like 99% of the dudes that I fucking know. And so they get diabetes and they're paying for their health insurance and they're only getting copay. They're paying their copays and they're buying their medication and they're feeding the goddamn the food industry that's poisoning them to begin with, while they go to work and pay the fucking taxes on money that's already been taxed. And so that right there, to me, can be changed. That's where you got to get out of.
Yeah, but how?
And then it's easy. I was talking to a guy today, and I'm not going to call him out, but he's a guy that you may know who he is if you've never met him. But he does very well for himself. He was in the Army. Anyway, he moved. And he moved to a new state. And he didn't like it. He's talking about a family. He's got small kids and moved thousands of miles away and don't like his situation. So guess what? He's changing it. He's coming back. You know what I mean? That's just, a lot of people don't have the balls to even do that.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying? Like, change your circumstances. Change your circumstances. That's all I can say is you don't have to get up and go to a job for 8 hours a day that you fucking hate. Most people hate their fucking job. They hate it. They fucking hate their job. Nobody enjoys going to Walmart and stocking shelves or dealing with they don't like it, but they got to do it because they feel like they're trapped and they have to, and that becomes their life. And now they're working literally. What's the average American's savings account look like? $1,000? That's not even the average. I think it's below 1,000.
I think it's like, the average person. No, it's higher than that. I think it's like 5,000.
You think so?
But what's 5,000 going to do in an emergency these days?
5,000 might get you out of town. It might get you a down payment on, I don't know. They ain't going to go far.
Man, it's just but that's the thing is like
So what I'm saying is I wish there was, and there are people. I'm not like a prophet. I'm basically regurgitating shit that I've learned over because I was trapped in it too. It's like I don't even I work for myself. I don't even want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But mainly it's the when you walk into a grocery store, it's almost like when you take the red pill or the blue pill when you've been red pilled and you can just see it. Same thing with the politics. We can all see. Most of us can see what's going on in the politics.
Yeah.
There's no, the lockdowns are coming because there's an election. Like, just that alone is a peek behind the curtain. And there's still maybe 40% of the country, maybe 35% of the country that are still like, nope, they're right. I trust them. I'm going to put my mask on.
I think we're at the peak of evolution as far as just how stupid things can get because it's pretty freaking stupid.
Oh, strap in, baby. Strap in. It's going to get a lot dumber.
Yeah. I love that meme where it shows the dude with the ski mask. He's got an AK and he's like, it looks like a Russian or something. But he's like, hey, friend, I know you're having a real hard time, but just want to let you know it's going to get way worse.
Way worse. Yeah. It's not even bad yet.
Yeah. But you know what?
What's going to happen when these dumb motherfuckers in this country lose power for like a week? And there's no food it's not, you can't use your EBT card.
I'm good, man.
At the fucking Piggly Wiggly because there's no food there.
I'm good regardless. Y'all whoever's out there and is not good should get good. And if that takes self-reflection, you need to do a checklist of what it takes to get good. But
yeah,
I just, there could always be a change, but it's not going to happen.
Well, that's what happens. This is what you're seeing. And I'm not a socialist.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of a socialist. I kind of like both parts, but this is what we're witnessing now is when capitalism goes unchecked. because we do have monopolies in this country now. And now you literally have big business instructing government to lock people down for pandemics so they can make money.
Yeah.
You know, there's no fucking reason to lock down even if Ebola breaks out, voluntary quarantine, but you can't never put, okay, let me take that back. If Ebola is killing, let's say we got 400 million people in the United States, when 150 million drop dead overnight, call me. I'll shut my doors and I'll take it serious. But when you're talking about less people that the flu killed, like
speaking of the flu,
yeah, whatever happened to it?
Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? It's COVID now, man.
If you would have said this in 2019?
Yeah, before COVID.
People were like, oh, you're fucking, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're an extremist, you're a terrorist, you're a fascist, you're a fucking whatever the ists.
Right.
Lots of ists in America, but I ain't heard the flu was killing people pretty good before 2019.
Yeah, fuck yeah, it was like 30, 40,000 a year on average or something like that. And then the flu goes away. And here's the thing, though. It's so it's not even worth talking about anymore because it's so obvious. And the people that don't see it, it's like, I don't have time for you no more, man. If you can't look at the TV and say, I got duped, just admit it. I get it. I'm not like, it's usually people in my generation and older. If I go and I buy a car that's worth $10 and I pay $500 for it and I find out I got duped, I'm not going to want to tell anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell. I'll be like, well, I'll actually probably make up an excuse on why I overpaid for it before I say I got duped, because my generation, the Generation X and beyond, and I know you're right on the cusp of it, we were taught that being a victim sucked. Yeah. And being a victim was like you were weak, so you hid that shit. Mm-hmm. This is so, I mean, and it was bad in a sense that if a child got molested, the family covered it up. Like, we ain't going to talk about it because we don't want to be victim. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it gets bad. So when encouraging women to speak out about sexual abuse and kids to speak out, which is a bad thing and they should speak out, it just went too far.
Oh, man.
And so now everybody likes to be the victim. So the younger kids, and if you see what's going on with the Trump train lately, you watch the internet. Have you seen what's going on with the Trump train lately? What the fuck do you watch, man?
Well, I talked to for instance,
like Trump when he got arrested, like they fucking painted a mural of that motherfucker in Atlanta when they drove him to jail to go check in for jail. Like, this is like all black community on the streets cheering, rappers, Latinos, Mexicans. I don't know how to group them. Mexicans are different than Puerto Ricans and different than Dominicans. They're different cultures. They all love them. It's like it's flipping. So come next year, Trump 2024 MAGA shit is going to be like cool, whereas the last time people were getting harassed for wearing it.
Yeah, it's just, but hey, Bennett's on. He says, "What's up?
What's up, BT?
BT, wish you were here tonight, man." We kind of digressed back into the political shit.
Well, I mean, what are we going to talk about?
It's stuff to talk about, but
Tuesday will be a good podcast. We all have been hunted.
Yeah. Oh god.
And maybe I'm probably gonna have like 3 deer killed, so I'll be in here bragging.
We'll get back. I want to circle back to hunting though in a little bit and some other
circle
stuff.
Right back to it. I don't give a
real
fuck.
Quick. This is refreshing though. I meet all kinds of people. I hang out with all kinds of people. One of my best friends, his stepdaughter, she's young. She's like 14 or 15, and we had a bonfire. And actually, I wanted her to come on because you know what? It would be cool to hear from someone that age.
Oh, that's a little too young.
I know, but still.
If her dad was in
I didn't
the
say
room.
that. I didn't recommend it. Her dad did, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that generation, the in-between generation, because you've got the people that are becoming in their 20s now, and they're the ones who don't think, they just react. And she even pointed that out. She's like, my older sister and my brother, no disrespect to them because they're good kids, but she notices it. Like, they don't think. They just go with whatever the media says and whatever's cool. Mm-hmm. So it's cool to hate on this guy. Yeah. It's cool to hate on this guy. But they're starting, these kids who are younger than that, who are now becoming teenagers, they still have their common sense of seeing what's nonsense and what's not.
Yeah.
And that's good because it's too late for our generation. We're the ones that fucked it all up, really, because we're the ones that are in power right now. Mm. These fucking goddamn crypt keepers need to get the fuck out.
Our generation, and I'm gonna tell you too, the baby boomers, they're the fucking problem. They need to go. They need to fucking stop voting.
You seen that shit about what Mitch fucking whatever the fuck his name is?
All of them. It doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat. This is the thing. I was having a conversation with a guy because I was at a little barbecue this last weekend, and this guy likes to say, because I'm like, where do you get? We're talking about the BRICS. Saudi Arabia apparently is going to join BRICS on January 1st. They're going to start trading in the BRICS currency.
We're going to have like pesos here.
The U.S. dollar is backed up by oil sales. Now, I always thought in the back of my brain, like a true believer, like Saudi Arabia is never going to do that because that will collapse. If they do that, that could be spun into an act of war, and we could go over there and just take over their oil.
I mean,
fields.
It's coming, man.
But here's the thing: we got more oil than they do. A lot of people don't know
we
that.
Just can't. Tap
and oil
into it.
is renewable. That's bullshit. You think it's a fossil? If you still think oil is a fossil fuel, you probably think that the Earth is round at 25,000 miles in circumference. You still believe like you're still in the dark ages. I'm not saying it's flat, but I'm telling you right now, beyond Antarctica, there's more land. And if you don't fucking believe, if you still believe that people landed on the moon, then you probably could do us all a favor and just stay inside. I'm not going to tell you to jump off a fucking cliff because that would be insensitive of me. But baby boomers, they got to fucking stop voting because they're the ones that still believe that the government ultimately is good.
Well, I don't
and
think
that you just have to pick your side and hope that you get a guy in there that is going to do, because they're the ones voting Democrat, they're the ones voting Republican, they're the ones watching Fox News, they're the ones that are still watching MSNBC.
But their generation didn't have a choice on anything.
Well, their generation had news. That there was
they
laws.
Had two ways to look at stuff.
There was laws back then.
Yeah.
The news couldn't have an opinion.
Yeah.
The news had to, if you got busted, if you were trying to spin your communism or your anti-communism or your right Republican or your racist bullshit, you couldn't do that on the news.
Right.
There was a law. Now, did people get away with it? I'm sure there were some fucking gray areas, but they repealed that law in the fucking late 90s thanks to fucking Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney. So Rupert, is it Rupert Murdoch, the guy who started Fox News, or Roger Ayers, could start Fox News, and then they were, because cable network news was a big thing, and they wanted to have the left and the right type of thing, and they were right. And I was talking to a guy, he's in his 70s, and he was talking about BRICS, and he's like, oh, it's never going to happen. He's believing in America is just going to work out. And we talked about something. I said, where'd you get that from? Because you're only watching the one-way news, I call it, no matter what side. You're a Democrat, you're watching one-way news. And these people that say, I watch all the news networks, first of all, you're lying. There's no way that you watch MSNBC or CNN if you're a Fox News or OAN guy. Because you wouldn't be able to stand it. You would have a fucking heart attack. You'd be like, I can't watch this. I'm lying, So I think it's the baby boomers, honestly. I think that the younger generation, although they got off to a rocky start, just kind of touch on what you were saying, they can kind of see the bullshit now. They're coming in from so far away, they can say, well, obviously they're fucking trying to put, they're starting Trump's trials the year of the election because they don't want him to campaign. Obviously, they're trying to arrest him because he's gonna fucking win, and if he wins, obviously they're gonna fucking try to lock us down and make us get vaccinated because Bill Gates is making billions of dollars, and all these people are making all obvious because they're listening to podcasts and they're not just getting talking points.
True.
I could listen to a guy talk that like Bill Maher. I don't agree. I love Bill Maher, but I don't agree with everything he says. But I can listen to him for 3 hours over the course of 2 days, and I find that just because I disagree with him on, say, Trump, I disagree with him wholeheartedly. Sometimes he pisses me off. But I agree with him on so much other shit because I can listen to him for 3 hours. If I just see him on the news saying, fuck Trump, I'm not going to like the guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to give him a chance. So I think the younger generation's more into the long form conversation, more like what we're doing now.
They like to hear the full story.
The full story.
And they realize that stuff on the internet is catch fire. Like it's the wind on the spark.
Yeah. But you can't just dispel, and I notice a lot of people do that. Everything on the internet's not fake because you think it's fake because people make shit up to get likes.
People do, though.
They do.
A lot.
They do. But this is where, like, for me, I consider myself an intelligent person. That doesn't mean that I think I'm Einstein or I think I'm so smart. But I can look at something and I can say, okay, that's a legit thing. Or, okay, that's bullshit. Or I can look at it and say, is this real? And then I can go investigate it and find out. Yeah. But that has become the biggest thing. I think me and you've gotten into it. And you're like, the internet. We talk about the internet being bullshit. You're the internet's bullshit guy. And I'm like, well, this or that. But then you go on the internet to prove your point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you don't see what I'm doing, though. I'm using what you're calling me, like, the stuff you're just I'm fucking with you. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Sometimes,
I'm trying to show
yeah.
you that the internet is a dangerous tool, and that
sometimes,
So,
But
that's what I'm doing.
But a
That's
lot of
all.
people do go on there and say, well, they can dismiss everything because it's on the internet. And I just would like somebody to finally tell me, as opposed to what? Like,
speaking of dismissing things because they're on the internet, so back to hunting.
Yeah.
So, you know me, I like to talk about spooky stuff, right?
Yeah, let's hear about the Area J boogeyman.
Yeah, we're gonna switch it up real quick and let's have a little pre-hunt, just fucking fun.
I've never hunted Area J.
I haven't either. Yeah. I've seen it. I drive by it all the time, but I think a couple people I know hunt Area J, but I was just randomly. It was so weird. Like Fort Polk, it's Fort Johnson now. Whatever. There's a lot of lore at Fort Polk because the story of Fort Polk was it was like poor homesteader land, and it was Native American land, obviously, but the Army came in. It was nothing but poor pine farmers out there, and that's all there is to do out there. There's no fucking economy. In fact, Leesville, Louisiana was Civil War vets who lived in the woods. It's named Leesville because it was a bunch of Civil War vets who named it after General Lee. All right?
Gotcha.
So the government comes in right before World War II, and they start kicking these families off. And they basically say, get the fuck out of here. And these families don't have anything, right? So they got thrown out, and you go out there, and there's a bunch of family cemeteries, but there's this legend of a woman who refused to leave. And apparently the feds had to fight her out. And it's not known if she was killed fighting or she committed suicide. The story goes that she hung herself, but they call her the Box Witch. And there's a lot of weird shit that happens out there, man, and especially Peace on Ridge and stuff. So for some reason, I hadn't thought about this stuff in years, but I was on the fucking internet last night, and I was on an Instagram page, and they have a full page of Instagram that's dedicated to just military ghost stories. And I was reading stuff about the Box Witch, but I was scrolling through it, and I saw all these bases, and it's like one of those TikTok formats where you have pictures and you have the name, and it's something random and it tells a story. And I didn't see anything on Bragg until I got down and it said like Area J. Supposedly, this is funny, but there's people that have seen it, and it's soldiers rucking in the morning or at night. But Area J has like a cryptid, and it's a 7-foot.
A what?
Cryptid, which is like a
cryptid.
Cryptid.
Okay.
That is a beast. It's a humanoid beast. All right. So it's just I just want to know because
tell me about it. Come on.
So apparently there's a guy rucking. Multiple people have seen this. It's a creature that has like short fur, like a Yeti, kind of typical Yeti
like
story.
Like a Bigfoot, but not big.
It's fucking aggressive as hell. Oh, it's huge. It's like 7-8 feet.
Well, how come he ain't never kicked nobody's ass?
It's just funny because it's like it's on base, and it's a small area. But the cool thing is that stuff still exists because like I can get lore existing before we had the internet, but the internet did open up a lot of stuff. And it made places that were undiscoverable before. It took the veil of creepiness from a lot of stuff away.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm never going in Area J without sunlight on my back.
Yeah, it's creepy.
But
man.
why would he live there though? Because Area J's close to like everything. Why wouldn't he go out to like Juniper Creek where there's nobody out there?
There's a page too called like the Swick Monster. And so it's like, maybe it's maybe it's the cadre fucking with people. I don't know. It's funny.
Hey, I did see a fucking Bigfoot video last night.
Yeah.
And I looked at it, and I don't believe it, obviously, even though there was a being, and they call it like something gigantus, some Pithecus gigantus. They found the bones of a humanoid or hominid, I guess you would call it, that was not an ape, but it's not a human. It's like a Bigfoot, and it's like 8-9 feet, like a giant. They find the bones, or the skeletons, and all that, and they check the DNA through the bones and all that shit, and it's like it's a hominid. So it would be Bigfoot. So it did exist at one time, like a Yeti or like a something like that. Anyway, I don't believe it. So I'm watching the video, and I'm like, how the fuck did they fake that? Because you can tell if there's. You can kind of tell. Like the original Bigfoot video is like this fucking guy in a Bigfoot suit.
That thing's running down the hill and like clothesline someone?
No.
That's a funny one.
No, this one is they're I think the lady's going out to take a shit in the woods or something, and she hears something, and then she scans over, and you just see it, and then it runs off. That would be a very expensive hoax. I mean, I'm sure that there's money in it, maybe. I don't know, maybe getting views on something.
Yeah.
But I watched it over and over and tried to figure out, like, it's not like the moon landing where it's obvious. I'm going to keep going back to that where it's stupid obvious. But it's I don't know. I was like, why would somebody go through the trouble of faking it that good?
Why not?
Why, though? That's a lot of money. That costs a lot of time and money.
People like to fuck with people, man.
I like to fuck with people, not to that extent.
If you had the ability,
and not to the extent of setting up a fake Facebook page under someone's name to fucking go troll people on Facebook, Jack Mehoff. I still think it's you.
It's not me.
It's got to be.
It's not me.
It's not me. If it was me, it wouldn't even be fun to me anymore.
That shit genuinely pissed me off, actually, because I thought it was you, and I was having a bad day that day, and like the dude it's like, why would you target me? Because I'm the only person on that page that you know. So that's why I thought it was you. It's like there's a bunch of other people complaining on that page. Why would they target me unless they're trying to get under my skin?
Oh.
So that's
that sounds like something I might do.
Yeah, but it's just funny, man. But back to so I want to know, man. You know, there's a lot of weird area. Like there's a Civil War battlefield on Bragg, and you know some people believe in that stuff, some people don't. And every hunter I've seen to talk to, I think you and like one other person I've talked to, and me, I get fucking weird.
I don't believe in anything like that. I don't know what the fuck I'm scared of in the dark. I just say the boogeyman. The boogeyman could be a fucking raccoon, a rabid raccoon.
Yeah.
It could be a ghost. You know, it could be a little baby that wants to play. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get the fuck off the ground.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why I don't wear sunglasses at night. Or, you know, at night when I got dark tint on my windows, I crack the window so I can, you know, I just like to be able to see things.
Yeah.
I get paranoid when I can't, especially in the woods. You know, I don't know if it's a supernatural thing or I'm just a pussy. I don't know.
I think it's a natural fear we've been programmed as humans to be afraid of the woods.
That is a fucking survival instinct.
Yes.
What idiot walks into a dangerous place that he can't see and is not at least a little bit worried?
You know,
if you don't have any, what was that? Let me watch where I'm at. Are the same people that walk into a fucking bad neighborhood and ask for directions and get stabbed. You know, they're just dumb.
You hear a lot of people saying like they give a shit. It's like, oh, you guys are afraid of the dark. Like, you know, our buddy.
It's easy to joke.
Or about the woods, but you've got, you know, I don't get that fear in the ocean, and I should be way more terrified in the ocean. I don't
get scared, but it's a very healthy respect.
Yeah.
Sometimes I gotta fucking like sit on the beach. That's why if you see whenever we go there, as soon as I get to the beach, I put my leash on and I go right out. Because if I stay there long enough, I'm gonna start watching. Okay, maybe I'm just gonna start. It's not a fear; it's a respect. And if you don't respect the ocean, then you're a fucking idiot.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Respect the woods too. I mean,
so you got to respect the woods. There's fucking animals out there. Like, okay, traditionally a coyote's not gonna fuck with you. Maybe he's hungry. Oh, there's no bears on Fort Bragg. Yeah, there are. And bears traditionally won't fuck with you. Well, I watched Cocaine Bear, and that motherfucker was going ham.
And you get out to the back areas that are accessible, and there's not just bears, but there's fucking meth heads. And
you know, maybe
there's people out looking. I mean,
there's a satanic ritual going on.
Exactly.
You know, I'm on my P's and Q's.
So I think here, I don't want to knock on wood, but I've had the heebie-jeebies here once, I think, and it was just weird. It was in my area that I usually go to, and it was getting dark. And I was up there, and I'm like, nah, I'm fine. But then I just got this feeling of just, like, dread. And I don't know if it was my mental...
Isn't that normal for you, though?
No, it's not. Not like that. Like, it happened to me once before in Louisiana at Peace on Ridge. And there's some weird stories at Peace on Ridge, too. And, like, multiple people have talked about the same feeling. But it was a bright, sunny day. It was, like, 3 in the afternoon. I got up in a pine tree, and I got real high up. And I was sitting there, and I just felt like everything had its eyes. Like, everything was watching me and, like, glaring at me. And I didn't feel like... At first I was like, nah, whatever, dude. You're just fucking playing head tricks and mind tricks. And I was like, no, I really felt like I need to get the fuck out of there. And I got down and I left, and I was like, man, that was just spooky. But
I've never had that before.
Yeah.
No. I did get scared one time, and
I've had shit scare me.
It was
like
Randy,
quails and shit.
It was actually Randy's fault because we were both going into the wood line. I was going to go in at this area, and he was going to go... He dropped me off.
Yeah.
I don't know if we rode together. I think we parked. Anyway, I get out and I get my climber out the back of his truck, and he's going to go down about a click that way down the trail. And we shine the light down there, and we see 2 eyes. And he's like, "Oh, it's a fucking bobcat." Oh, you hear him hissing? Yeah, he's going to fuck you up. And I was like, I ain't worried about him. But when he drove off and it got real, it was dark. It was like one of them cold mornings where there was like no moon. It was dark.
I love those mornings.
So you put that fucking flashlight out, and that's all you can see now and I'm looking for that fucking cat. And I was a little paranoid. I got up my tree quick, but that was probably one of the most. But it wasn't supernatural. It was a fucking bobcat.
Yeah.
And a bobcat's only that big, but a fucking small kitty cat can fuck you up. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You ever pick up a feral cat and try to pet it when you were a kid?
Remember that guy that was on the news?
Like fucking ninjas and shit.
No, the news, that guy came out in the morning. It was on his, it was hilarious. I mean, it's horrible what happened, but it's freaking hilarious watching because this guy went from Mr. Doodly Doo to like fucking gangster real quick, dude.
What happened?
That rabid bobcat attacked his wife. Oh, it was here in North Carolina. You got to look at that clip. So it's funny because he goes out to his car and he's like, "Good morning" to the neighbors, and he's like, "Doo doo doo," and like his wife comes out and this freaking bobcat comes out of nowhere and just starts attacking her, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Oh shit!
And he shoots at it, man.
Hell
he's
yeah!
Like, a fucking bobcat just attacked my wife. It's
wow.
funny.
Why? That's it must have been hungry.
Yeah, or just feral, you know, or just.
Oh, they're all feral.
Yeah. But
that's odd.
Here, like, what was it?
But cats are weird, though. I don't understand people that have pet cats.
You know, now thinking about it, I did have one. I can't explain this still. All right. So that day I got that hoss, that big deer. Mm-hmm. I asked Randy, I think, I want to look at my text message if I saw it, but right before I shot that deer, about 20 minutes before, or no, right before it came out of the woods, I heard what I swore was a fucking bow. And you know that's a very distinct sound. Mm-hmm. That and that sound. Because I thought there was deer coming and someone else shot at it, but it was close to me, but there was nothing there. And that's what pushed him.
Maybe somebody did.
I don't know if someone was out there though, because like who knows? Because as far as I knew,
he's got to be pretty close to hear that.
Yeah.
It's not that's like maybe an arrow when you fire that bow. It's
it was
like
a bow
clunk.
snap. Yeah, it was a bow snap.
Bow
and
snap.
I got kind of pissed because I'm like, fuck, someone got him already.
Maybe somebody was hunting out
Maybe that's
there.
what pushed, but he was chasing a doe. But I didn't see anyone, man. No cars or nothing, so whatever.
I've heard, I was hunting in Alabama when I first started hunting, and I heard what sounded to me like, okay, I didn't know what a rattle call sounded like at the time. This is my first time hunting. I was kind of just going to be a part of the family at this point. But it sounded like somebody picked up a box of like 10 cans, crushed 10 cans, and it was like, and was doing that. And so I thought that was a rattle call. So I was like, I heard it twice. And then I went back to, to the camp after the hunt, and we were talking about it. They were talking about rattling. I said, well, I don't know what I heard. Did you hear that? Was somebody rattling? They were like, no, it's a little too early for that.
Yeah.
But I said, I heard something. It was like, it sounded like somebody picked up a box of cans and was shaking it. What the fuck was that? And they were like, well, it could have been two bucks fighting. And I'm like, no, that's distinct. I mean, I'm not stupid. I've seen deer fight before on like videos. You hear them. It's like clack, 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 clack.
Yeah.
This was like somebody deliberately, I don't know if they were fucking with me.
Yeah.
Because I know my father-in-law did whenever I first started hunting, because he was hunting in a tree that he could see me from. It was about 300 yards away, and he had given me a buck call. And he was like, don't be out there blowing it like a kazoo, and you hear it, do it. So I guess he got bored and he blew it. So I was like, oh fuck, burp. And he kept doing it back, and I'm going, it may be like 10 times. I didn't know well enough to fucking know that I was being fucked with. Like a deer's not going to sit there and go grunt for grunt with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like me when I told you I watch videos on the way to hunt sometimes just to get some last minute tips, and I thought I had my phone on silent, but it activated in my pocket and the YouTube was playing, but the volume was low because it was hooked up to my car, and I kept hearing like, deer. Yeah. So I'm like, oh shit! I got all excited, and I'm fucking sitting there, and I'm like, oh, he's coming. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh,
have you ever?
Shit.
Speaking of that, so when I first started hunting on Bragg, I tried everything. Whether it was fucking mineral sweet shit that looked like dirt, whether it was fucking
Bragg?
on Bragg,
not on Bragg.
On Bragg. I don't fuck you. That was before. I don't do it no more.
Okay.
I tried everything. If it was out there, I watched every video. So anyway, I come across this video, and it says only use this call when hunting. And now electronic calls are illegal. So, but I have my phone, and these doe came out. It was the first time bow hunting. I think I'm probably 30 feet up in this tree, the lone tree too. There's like nothing around me, and these deer come out, like 6 of them, and they're grazing. And I took a shot at one, and it went right over her back, so far over her back. I saw it because I had the lit knock, and she didn't even run. And the other deer just kind of stopped and was like, went back to it. So they start walking away up the trail. So I go to this fucking thing that I saw, the deer call, only do it while you're hunting. And I hit it. And when I hit it, they all fucking took off. Boom, right into the wood line. Like not where they came from either, and not away. They went and hid right away. And Come to find out, it's a fucking joke. It's a doe in distress call. It was like,
you got trolled.
I got trolled and I fell for it. And and that was the only time that I think I saw deer that whole fucking year.
Damn.
I think I saw them during rifle season, but yeah.
I was a little cocky going into this season because I was having my confidence up from last season, but I'm wondering how. I'm second guessing myself. I'm like, am I gonna get some deer?
You never know.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I'm going into it like I'm about to be like fucking stacking bodies on this weekend. I probably won't see a fucking thing, you know.
Don't jinx yourself.
But no, you can't jinx it's like one of them things where you can have a good spot, okay? Perfect. Everything lined up. You got them on camera every other day. When that deer fucking comes out of wherever he's bedding down and he can make a left or he can make a right, you know, he's not wearing no watch.
Yeah.
He's on no time frame.
Right.
So sometimes they'll stand still for like 30 minutes.
Yep.
You know, just stand there. You don't know. Maybe he goes left and comes right to you. Or maybe he catches something, his attention for a second and he ends up to the right and then he just decides, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit, you just reminded me too, man.
What?
I got to get my tags renewed.
What tags?
My license is still good.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah. I've been reminding myself of that every day. I'll do it tomorrow.
I like how it goes. Like,
your license is fine. Like my license
November.
is good until like November or something.
Yeah.
But your tags you have to renew.
But you can do it online.
But I just redo everything.
Yeah.
And I think my Fort Bragg, my pass runs out like November or something too.
No, I mean, you're leaving anyhow, so.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll renew that shit if if it comes down to I can only hunt 3 days, but I got to pay that $60 to hunt that 3 days. I'm gonna hunt those motherfucking 60, those 3 days. So I'm gonna pay the $60.
Going into next week, man, are you gonna do evening hunts?
All evening hunts.
You can do all evening hunts?
All evening hunts.
That's smart. It's cooling off a little bit.
Yeah. Now, if I don't have nothing to do, nothing lined up for the morning. Like, here's the thing. Typically what I'll do is I'll go out and I'll hunt the morning and that's why I have to come out like by like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I have to go to work. I got to go do a fucking materials buy or I got to go do a fucking inspection. And then I'll go back for the evening or I'll just take the whole day. I'm not going to do that during the early season. Like if I have something to do that day, I'm just not going to go. I'm going to knock it out. I'm going to go in the afternoon.
Okay.
As it starts to get colder and we start getting cold snaps, then yeah. And then once we get around after Halloween, then work can eat a dick and I'm going hunting every day, all day.
Until you get on the plane?
Until I get on a plane. Looking like I can hunt up until about the 18th.
Nice.
The 18th will be my last day because the 19th, well, maybe I can go the morning of the 19th. And maybe I can go, I got to come out, pack the last little bit of shit. No, I can't because the 19th I got to drive to Raleigh because I'm leaving the 20th. And I got like 10-foot long bag. It's not like you can drive me to the fucking airport.
Yeah.
Like
if I got my van.
Where are we going to put a 10-foot? And then John's got a fucking 6-foot or a 7-foot
you're
bag.
Really going, man. It's finally hitting.
It's
crazy.
going. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
But I'm so anxious about this. I want to get in the trees, but I was just like, man, I was outside. I'm like, it's going to be hot and it sucks. You know, I don't think I even hunted this early last season. I don't think I started hunting until, I'm trying to remember when I went in. First, I think my first hunt was, I didn't either. I do like bow season prior to black. I like going in with no orange. I don't know why. I feel, it's just, I like wearing my camo. Yeah. And I camo head to toe. Like you see me, I paint up. And I like to go in early season because, you know, it's not crazy yet. But the troops are still moving a lot because they like to train in the hot weather. That's another thing, too. Anyone that's out there, listen, we got more people signed in right now. Hey, guys, get on the chat, too. If you got any questions, you want to just ask anything, fucking ask us anything. Just we'll interact with it. You know, we're here. We're here for you guys. But a lot of people going out early season, just remember, be weary. Like, one thing we got to remember always is don't get upset at the troops, all right? The troops have
them. They have the audacity to be fucking training to defend this nation.
Yeah, that's
at a moment's notice.
There goes Buddy with his advocateness
during my fucking hunting time.
My hunting season. But, you know, like, just remember that, like, you know, and I know we got a lot of guys who are active and veterans, and sometimes we forget, you know, we get pissed because it's like, I did all this effort, and here comes fucking Johnny.
That's part of the fun, man.
Airborne, rucking down the fire break.
Don't you know that part of the fun of hunting Bragg is the bullshit that comes with it?
Absolutely. It just makes it that much sweeter.
I don't get it. And I'm going to tell you what. If you're on the Fort Bragg Hunt Club page and you don't love hunting Fort Bragg, you don't have to live here. A lot of people have hit me up and been like, "Oh, he don't even live here no more." There's some guys that fucking hunted Fort Bragg and now they've moved on, but they're still homies.
Yeah,
they don't come back. Like Chase Hilgendorf, he was a hardcore fucking Fort Bragg Hunt Club guy. He hunts. He went to Fort Campbell. I think he killed like fucking 36 deer in 2 years because they had no limit on does up there. Yeah, I think he's retired now and lives in Texas, or he's out of the mill. I don't care. He's not on there talking shit. But these people that are like, oh, you got to put up with the bullshit of Fort Bragg. Get the fuck off the page. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fort Bragg is an awesome place to hunt. And that's not just like my opinion, because I could hunt anywhere I fucking want to hunt. You know what I mean? I literally can hunt anywhere I want to hunt. If I want to join a fucking hunt club, I'll go join a hunt club. If I want to fucking lease land, I'll lease the fucking property. You know, if I wanted to buy land specifically for hunting, I could fucking figure that shit out. I like hunting Fort Bragg. Yeah. And most people that have been hunting it for a while have. It's not just me. They can go do what they want. You know what I'm saying? Hell, fucking, you joined a hunt club, hardly hunted it. Randy joined a hunt club, hardly fucking hunted it.
Same hunt club.
Fort Bragg's fucking great.
We joined the same hunt club, actually.
And I just think that the people that, you know, even when I sucked, and I still suck. I've been hunting 10 years, so I'm like halfway to becoming a decent hunter.
You say that every time, but it's
every time.
It's
but it's
funny,
the
though.
truth.
It's the truth. Yeah.
You know, like I learned so much last year. And it's like surfing. The last time I went surfing was not the Sunday, but the Sunday before the storm. I came out of that session fucking completely stoked, but I had learned so much in that one session. Mm-hmm. Every hunting season, I learned something new, and I just like hunting Fort Bragg. Man. Yeah. So I'm just tired of fucking. You've seen a few comments in there that I went to kick the guy off, but I didn't. I was like, oh, I'll just monitor that motherfucker. But you know who you are, motherfucker. Keep it up, and you won't find. And hey, if it's no big deal to you, then just voluntarily take yourself off.
I'm sure
page.
there's trolls everywhere, you know. And one thing, check it out, guys. I wanted to put this out because we had, you know, if you go on Fort Bragg and you see deer, don't drop a freaking pin research.
That guy, I ended up talking to him. He thought he was young. He's a younger guy, 2-year hunter. So if you're familiar with the post, he saw the deer.
Yeah.
Okay. And I took it down.
Okay.
Because like literally that spot is probably within 100 yards of one of the spots.
Well, a lot of people hunt that spot, period.
No, they don't.
They don't? Oh, okay.
No. A lot of people say that they would like to, but it's so close to the road. But I believe that area, is BT still on?
Yeah, BT's. Joshua Fuchs just had one, but I don't know what happened to it. Said he likes the artillery and the helicopters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it when I'm sitting out there and I can hear that shit.
I like sitting out in that one area where if you're in the right spot, it's a legal area. Not illegal. It's a legal area. Totally fine. But you're sitting there, you can hear artillery rounds flying
going over you, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
But so the kid, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. He posted, I took it down, and then he thought he did something wrong. So I said, hey, look, bro, it's cool. You didn't do anything wrong. I took it down because I literally hunt that spot.
So you're monopolizing.
Well, I own the fucking page. I'll do what the fuck I want. You fucking put my thing. Hey, I said, look, he was cool. He was like, oh man, I'm sorry. I was like, hey, it's cool. It's public land. You know, there's a big deer now.
He's just an excited.
Yeah, you go hunt it. Yeah. If you want to. I can't tell you not to hunt it, but yeah. So, like, okay. So did you see the one that my cousin posted last night?
Yeah,
that's the fucking deer that if you look at the sheds. I look at the picture and I turn the fucking, because I have the sheds on a plastic skull because I've been hunting that motherfucking deer. I gave up last year, but I turned it and I'm like, that's him.
Yeah,
you can just tell those brow tines are like fucking dildos. And he posted it and I was like, don't you be posting my deer?
Oh, that was a nice one, man. I didn't ask where it was, but he sent me the picture too.
You've been in my apartment, right?
Yeah.
You see the deer that's above my bedroom door? That big motherfucker. That's his sheds from 2 years ago.
Oh, those are just the sheds?
Yeah, wow. Yeah. I could never get, I could never get him in daylight ever.
That's the one that I think I saw walking out last year.
In that area?
Yeah.
What were you doing in that area? When did you ever hunt it? I didn't know you ever hunted that area.
No. Never mind. No, not that area.
Okay. Yeah. He's pretty much living in that, I would say, especially during the rut. I don't think he lived there during the rut last year because none of those scrapes that he traditionally fucking hits were there. They weren't messed with. There was a few that were off to the side of it. Like some deer came in and was like, fuck that scrape, I'm going to start my own. Or maybe the artificial scent threw him off, or the human scent. But he was not there, and the rubs weren't there. But the year before that, that place was rubbed down. Them scrapes were hit. I had him on camera the year before that when he was probably only like 2.5, 3 years old. I've been following his, and there's been times where I've hunted all morning in the rain and cold, and then I get out at like noon, from sun up to noon, and I run out and I eat, and I'm gonna come back. But on the way back, you get that little, let's go try something else. Maybe he's down on that end. So I go down about 300 yards in another tree at the other end of this trail, this creek trail. And I hunt it, and I'm like, I didn't see shit. So like 3 days later, Tuesday, Wednesday typically, or Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday I come out and check the camera. That Sunday at 3:30 in the afternoon, when it stopped raining, he's in that scrape, and I was right there. Now, if I would have stayed in that tree, did he know I was there? I don't know. But he's just been, I like to think that he knew I was there.
Right.
And he was like, I'm waiting for this motherfucker to leave.
And if you don't get him, I know someone who's going to get him. Not me, but.
No, he ain't going to get him. He moves around too much.
Yeah.
You talking about Randy?
No.
Oh, or Willie?
Willie will get him, man.
No.
Willie's a good hunter.
Willie smells like fucking Tide. That deer is not coming within 200 yards of that cocksucker.
All right.
He don't fucking, Willie is don't believe in scent control at all.
Yeah.
Like I've been walking in the woods. I'm like, bro, you wash your fucking camouflage in Tide. I smell it. He's like, I don't give a fuck about it. And he's right too. But he kills deer.
But then we've had
he's not going to kill that deer because I'm going to be back in my fucking spot.
We've had, what was it, our last guest that we had on our hunting podcast when we had John, what was the guy's name? Oh God.
Josh.
Mm-hmm. Josh was talking about, he's adamant about scent control.
Yeah.
And he had some real good pointers. So I'm kind of like, here's the thing, man. Bragg is a funny place because I've had hunts where I felt like I was completely prepared. I did everything right and nothing.
Yeah.
I've had hunts where I'm late as hell. I'm talking late. Like I'm talking like I got like 30 minutes to get up in my tree before the sun starts setting, right? Gone to a few of my like there was one day where I brought my buddy out and I told you we made a beeline right down the middle of frickin' Post, down that shitty ass road that is all graded and makes you get the shakes. And I was like dead set on this one spot, and we must have passed 3 or 4 hunters. And I was like, shit, man, I feel like a piece of shit.
Because you are.
Well, public land, dude, because I am. But anyways, no, I mean, the last 2 guys when we saw, I stopped, and that was the day I saw that dude that was wearing no orange, but he was wrong. And he was parked in one area, hunting another area.
Yeah, but maybe he wasn't even signed in.
So, fuck him. That's my point on that. If you're out there listening, fuck you. But, yeah, exactly.
You ain't no gangster.
Okay.
But
anyways.
You got no respect for the game? No.
that day, I got right up, I literally was getting sun was starting to, it was getting shady right when I got up in my tree, and I got a nice little deer that night, and it's just I wasn't even completely relaxed. I was still fucking out of, breath from walking in and getting up in the tree when that deer started to come out. So it's
you're talking about scent control. I don't think scent control is as big of a deal on Fort Bragg. I don't. Only because I've never really been hardcore with it. And no, I don't have all the trophies hanging up in the wildlife center, but I've killed some nice deer with a bow. I've killed them with a rifle. And my lack of scent control wasn't an issue. And I've seen them downwind. And I have been winded too, so it's like 50-50. But so much to that conversation that I fucking went and got one of those. The
ozonators?
It's a
deionizer, right?
Deionizer.
Yeah. Ozonator.
Yeah, well, because remember fucking, so when Psycho Cunt got me a fucking gift card for Father's Day, 2 Father's Days ago, and I never used it. And so I went to Cabela's this past Saturday, I think. Is that the day I went? Saturday or Sunday? One.
Saturday.
Nice, beautiful morning. I drove up with the top down.
Nice, man.
And I went and got some stuff. And when I walked back out, I lost the gift card. That's the thing. I went in and I dropped like $300 fucking on shit. And I fucking come out and I had my gun in the glove box. So I took the fucking gun out, and as I did that, the fucking gift card fell out. So I'm like, well, fuck, I gotta go in. And I actually thought about going and returning everything I just bought and then repurchasing it and getting it basically half off. It was a $150 gift card. But anyway, I bought one of those deionizers. And I thought it was going to be like that big. That fucker's like that big, and you strap it to the tree above you, and we're gonna see. We're gonna see if it works.
It makes you invisible, huh? To scent.
Yeah, to scent. It's supposed to. Yeah. You know, so I think that I washed my fucking gear in scent-free soap.
Right.
I put it into a Rubbermaid or Craftsman-made rubber fucking tough box with.
We got more people tuned in now.
Spray clean. What do you call it? Dead downwind.
Yeah.
I also put a dirt wafer in there. I also put a fucking acorn. I'd never seen those before, so I got an acorn.
The acorn ones, yeah. I actually like the dirt ones.
Yeah, the dirt ones smell good. I fucking put them in my car for an air freshener. I put that in there, right? And then I got a fucking scent bag, one of those orange bags that you put your gear in, and I'm going to get dressed. I actually bought clothing to wear to the woods.
Yeah.
I bought not this, but it's like it was on sale. Columbia, a shirt and pants, like that real fucking lightweight shit. Mm-hmm. So I'll wear that. And that stays in my scent-free shit, too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm doing all that. And I got the de-ionizer. So I don't know what else is next. Do I need to fucking not brush my teeth? Do I need to fucking, not put on any lotion? Do I got to have dry skin for the whole time?
We got more people signing in. Hey, we got Josh Whitford Fishing. Hey, Josh.
That's Josh. That's the dude that was on. That was the guest to...
Yeah. Ago. Oh yeah. Okay. That's hey Josh. Yeah, we were just talking about you, but it was good stuff. But
because of you,
scent control.
I'm now fucking light. Well, it was a gift card, but I'm like $100 in scent control.
Sounds like Buddy's been paying attention. My son's on, so hey, Buddy. Little guy's stoked about this season, man.
Yeah.
I got him.
Your son? Which one?
Little.
Shane?
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Shane, what's up, dude?
We're not supposed to say his name?
It's okay.
Oh,
man.
fuck, my bad.
Go ahead and fuck around and find out in my life. You know what I mean? But I got him a 243, and he's just pumped, man. And he's really excited. I'm going to put that 2-man stand out.
243 is good.
Yes, it is.
Too.
The only thing is last season I wanted to test it out myself, and I bought the Savage one, which is for kids, and I'm sitting there thinking my big ass can get up there and use it. Now that stock is not meant for someone my size, dude. I freaking scoped the fuck out of myself with that thing. But I got to get it sighted in. It's not quite there yet. But I got
to go this week. We can go if you want to go to the range complex because
man.
I've been paying $45 a month since last November when I got a new scope.
Yeah.
And I haven't been back since.
I'm down. I got my 270 in where I need to. I was at a range, and it's going to be cool because if it works out. As a guess, I'll have access to a 1,000-yard range or 1,000-meter range.
When are you going to grow up and get a 308?
That's a good point. I do want a Ruger. Actually,
I don't know. It's 270.
Hey guys, anyone out there listening? I don't know who's on right now, but if anyone listens to this and you got one of those Woodstock 80s or 70s, but nobody wants to sell that shit.
No one's going to sell you like a Ruger model number 1 or a fucking.
I want one of those so bad.
Yeah, me too. Fuck.
Yeah, my uncle's got a couple.
A Ruger model number 1, which is a fucking single shot.
Yeah.
You got a fucking, what do you call it, breech load?
Yeah.
You shoots it out. And 7mm mag. If I was, but here's the thing, I would never hunt with it. It's too heavy and it's wood. But my father-in-law had one and I love that gun. Of course, he wasn't my blood relative, so when he passed, but I held on to it while I was still married to her.
First gun I ever shot, my uncle's, that's my uncle. I might talk to him. My uncle up in Virginia has got those guns, and he's pretty disabled. It sucks because he's got arthritis, but
they got to stay in the family.
I'd like to see if I can use one, man. That's the first gun I ever shot.
What happens when he passes? Who's going to get him?
He's got kids, so his son
kids?
No, he's got kids.
Oh! I thought you said step kid. I'd be like, step kids don't fucking count.
But
they get like the fucking 22 in the HL or whatever the HMR.
I'm sure he'd let me borrow it for a hunt or two, but he's got that 30-06, the first high-powered rifle I ever fired when I was little, and that thing just. Yeah. I remember, man, that thing was so. He's got one of those weird cone attachments on the. I don't know what they're called. They look like an hourglass. You ever seen one of those? Mm-hmm. Maybe it's some old 90s. I don't know if it's the 80s, 90s stuff, but it looks like a little tiny. It's a. Sorry if I sound like an idiot, but it looks like a little tiny hourglass, and it's on it.
What was it etched into the barrel?
No, it's on the tip.
Oh, like a flash suppressor?
I guess that's what it is. It's just I've never seen one like that
before. Yeah. Okay.
But that thing, man, it's a beautiful rifle, and
I've got a fucking Hawkeye, Ruger Woodstock 243, and I got a Leupold scope. Everything's brand new.
Yeah.
Never fired it. Oh. I don't want to fucking get it all scratched up. And I got the Leupold scope, which is not the top. If you know, Leupold glass is good, but I didn't buy like the $1,000 scope, but it's a good scope. And I got it specifically for deer hunting because everybody told me that it's one of the people that hunt. Now, of course, we can. If you're a 30-06 guy, you can say no. 30-06 is the best. 308. The thing I don't like about the 308, and I'll probably never not hunt with it. But what I don't like about it is when you pull the trigger, especially on the Ruger that I shoot, the American model, so it's real light. When you pull the fucking trigger, you lose sight picture. You can't help it. It just goes.
Oh yeah. So you're not. Yeah.
But on a 243, it's like pop.
I got a question.
It don't
man.
kick or nothing.
Does anybody, I'm going to ask your opinion. We don't have guests here, but does anyone ever hunt with AR out here?
Yes, some people do.
Have you ever seen?
I've seen them. I've seen them on the page. They posted it.
I'm holding my buddy's guns because he's in Korea right now, and he pretty much told me like, yeah, shoot the ammo up, whatever, shoot them, just take care of them.
Why would you want to though? Just because it's light and it's easy to carry around.
I just realized he's got a badass scope for that. Like he had this little box. He left all his shit with me, right? And he's been in Korea for like 5 years. I don't think he's coming back, to be honest, but I still have his stuff because that's what kind of friend I am. And he's got this 223 scope that's fucking sick, dude. And it just mounts right onto the rail system. And
but you want to hunt with it just to do it, or do you think it would be I don't think that round is good for hunting deer.
Well, I've heard
you're going to track that.
I got on the internet and
I've shot people with that fucking round and they kept running.
Does anyone? Okay, and that's my next question. Does anyone here, like, if I'm just hunting for meat, right? And like I said, I'm new to this. I'm the traditional hunter. If I'm bow hunting, I'm shooting at the vitals. I'm not.
Yeah.
Is there anyone out there that hunts headshots?
I think that if the opportunity presents itself, like maybe if, let's say you got a deer out there that you're not excited to shoot. Like maybe you saw the deer, it's a doe, and you got excited, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to wait on the buck, and then the buck never shows up, and you're like, oh, I'll shoot this deer.
Yeah.
I think people take a headshot then, but I don't know why you would fucking risk taking a headshot.
Missing. I mean, I'm pretty good. Like when it's the scope.
Randy took a headshot.
I'm good with
an
AR.
Fucking, rabbit-sized deer a few years ago and blew its fucking head off.
Well, that's the thing, So we got Josh. Josh fucks his. I can't see. Hold on, Josh. I'm trying to read your comment, but I got it. Okay. Brendan, do you plan on to hit the youth hunts on base? There's some brutes in those areas. You should look into signing up for them. Yeah, absolutely. And I know they got blinds out there as well. Yeah, for sure. And I think youth season is before. It's that weekend before.
It's a weekend before. It's like basically the
muzzleloader, right?
Oh shit! I don't know. I know it's normally like days or a week before rifle opens. They have the youth day.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as if I can get him confident on that 243, which I will. He's still a little guy, my youngest. My middle guy wants to go as well, but he's kind of like Brandon. That's how he's programmed. My middle guy, he's real chill. He doesn't like to do the extra work. He just likes to go and do it. So
just go and do it.
He didn't want to scout with me.
Bring the deer out.
Yeah, so
that's like John.
That's another thing too, man. Like Bragg's got awesome youth areas. If you got kids, dude, and you like to hunt, you're fucking man. Just get in there. It's true, yeah. So yeah, that's a plan. Thanks for.
I wish I had a kid that really liked to hunt. Like, I see some of these. It's rare. I know some kids that were like 12, 13 years old. That these kids went to Johnny Mercer's Pier every day because they love to fish.
Yep.
They could tie every fucking knot. They were, you know what I'm saying? And my kids liked to go fishing, but they didn't. When they went home, they weren't even thinking about it.
Right.
Like I always wanted one of them kids that was like coming to me and talking about, hey, did you see this video? Look at this deer, that, almost like a homie,
See, one thing I get to is like the gore. Because when I was a little kid, man, I used to get grossed out gutting fish. And that sounds like a wimp thing, but I didn't get over that until I was like 12 or 13.
That's kind of wimpy.
Well, but still. Dude, I grew up in the city, man.
Kind of wimpy.
I grew up in the city.
I used to catch my own fish, little fucking brim on bread balls in like Coke can.
Yeah.
And then we'd go home, head, gut. I'm talking little fucking brim like this.
Yeah.
And cook them on a fucking Coleman stove. It'd be disgusting, but we'd fucking sit there and pick the bones out of our.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, the first thing I did with my boys was I took them to the skin shed and I just showed them gutting deer. And I made them sit there with me and gut deer. So kind of get just used to that.
Yeah.
And Shane's a little trooper, man. Like Brandon was kind of grossed out, and it was still warm out, so you get that. That's the best. That's another thing about hunting early season, man. That gut pit gets. It's awesome. I mean, that's fucking awesome. It saves so much hassle from having to go home and deal with that shit.
Oh yeah.
But it's literally a mass grave, dude. And when it gets ripe and raunchy in the early season, but
and then even gutting the deer when it's hot. The bees, for some reason, I didn't know bees like blood, but they land all over it. Yeah. And then I'm a little bit more hesitant to eat like the innards, the organs when it's hot.
When it's hot.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I don't know. Lately though, I've been eating liver every day for like a month.
But think about it, man. I mean, whether it's cold or hot, the core temperature of a deer is always going to be in the 90s,
that's
100s.
True.
So
that's true.
I think they run a little higher, actually.
Yeah, it's always
Animals
hot
are like
in there.
In the hundreds, I think. Yeah, naturally.
I think I'm going to try this year. I'm going to do it.
Dude.
I said I was going to do it last year. Was I'm going to eat the fucking liver raw.
Oh, raw? Hey,
like
man.
right there. Maybe put some stomach bile on. The Native Americans used to do that. That was like whoever the fucking like the chief. I don't know what you'd call him. The alpha male of the fucking hunting group. That's the first thing he would do is they would squirt the fucking stomach bile on the liver and eat it, and then they'd pass it around, and that was like a treat for them.
Well, I mean, if you can, I think you eat enough variety of things. You're like some people. That's another thing too. Like a lot of modern humans don't have the same gut bacteria as the old timers did. And
I still eat raw meat every now and then. Last year I was eating those deer hearts raw.
Yeah. Oh, dude, deer heart is amazing. Hey guys, if you're out there and I see you in the skin shed and you don't want that heart, I'll take it. I still got like 5 or 6 in the freezer.
It's better. I'm gonna tell you right now. If you've ever had it cooked, most people. I'm saying 99% of the people that I know that cook deer, they don't know how to cook it.
Right.
Their deer's gross. If you overcook deer,
it's ruined.
It's ruined. Mm-hmm. They don't prepare it. They just chop it all up and they fry it and they sit there and chew on a fucking leather shoe. Or they take they tried the heart and they do the same thing. They overcook it. When you have an organ meat, the more you cook it, the more of that organ flavor you're going to get. Yeah. So if you take that heart and you just cook it like a medium rare, you're not going to have that organy flavor that. Deer liver, I'm not a fan of.
I like it, man.
It's too fucking livery.
Okay.
It's like musky. What the fuck? I don't know, man.
I've tried. Okay, so I'm going to give you this recipe and try it out. It's it's from Steve Ranella.
The pate, the moose.
Did you try it?
No, you sent me the fucking recipe, but it was like written. I couldn't read it.
No, okay, I'll get it out of the book.
And I don't have the facilities.
Yeah, and Buddy says they suck at prepping it. That's a big thing too, y'all. Prepping that deer correctly is a huge thing on how.
Who's that, Buddy Ard?
Buddy Ard. Yeah, hey, Buddy. Hey, guys, wanted to say this too. If you want a sticker, I apologize. I've been slacking. I still got to get your stickers out to you, but
it's not that easy, and you got to go to the post office.
Well, I don't want to send it. I just want to give it. Like we have enough people. Greg's. I'll put yours out. Greg, if you're listening, Bishop, I'm gonna mail it to him because he's in South Carolina. But there's a few people. There's one guy that's he's downrange. Can't say where he is or what he's doing, but when he gets back, I'll
keep some on me. He'll have them on me. If you see me at the skin shed, or if you just I'm gonna try to make it a point this year to to go hang out at the skin shed during the afternoon. Maybe bring some coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe actually meet some of these guys. I didn't tell you I was in. I forgot to tell you all this. I think I told Jonathan. I was in Academy 3 times last week, and one day I went in there, 3 dudes were like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" And I thought that they were saying, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" Like amigo. And so I was like, yeah. And so anyway, they were watching the podcast. So I didn't catch names. And one guy was like, I'm going to have to get this motherfucker's autograph. And I was like, and it was a friend of Jonathan Holloway's. No. It was a friend of Jonathan Holloway's.
With you, man.
No, he was joking. He didn't want my autograph. What I'm saying is, I want to. So I'm meeting people that I've talked to. Like I've met Sean Shackelford last week. And I've been talking to Sean. I don't know if he's watching, but I've been talking to Sean Shackelford on text for about 6 or 7 years. I'm talking a lot.
Wow.
So much so that I would probably call him my friend. And I just finally met him face to face last week at his house because he had a roof issue. But
and I think we've got when Martin was on, he plugged it on the surf page. So if we got people from Wilmington listening in, and if you want to get into hunting, hit us up.
Don't come to Fort Bragg.
Don't come to Fort Bragg.
I'm just kidding.
Go hunt. No, but
there's plenty of room out there.
Yeah. Back to prepping meat, man. That's one thing. It turns a lot of people off to deer, and I've talked to people who don't hunt, and they're like, "Oh, I don't like deer." I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" Yeah. And I said, "Give me one chance to cook you deer. I bet you like it." Because my wife was like that too, and I get it. A lot of people who are hardcore hunters don't like to say there's no such thing as gamey, but. Nah, there is.
There is. Gamey's not good.
No.
Now, I do know guys.
It might have been good if we were ancient humans because that's what we're used to
Well, I know a guy that liked gamey meat, and he also liked his pan-fried, brim, because that's what he kind of grew up eating. Not pan-fried. It tastes like dry fucking fish. It's gross.
Like deep fried?
It tastes like it smells, and that's never a good thing. But with deer, you're right. You can prep it. Like what I do with mine is I will take it 24 hours before I'm going to cook it, and I'll put it in salt water.
Yeah.
And then what happens is when you put a piece of deer meat in salt water, it's gonna that water's gonna turn like a dark pink.
Yes.
Drain it and do that maybe 2 or 3 times, and when that water's like a light pink color, now you've got all the blood. See, the blood is in the meat. It's not, you know what I'm saying? But it's really not blood so much as it's just water. You're cleaning the meat out, you know. You're replacing, and you're putting salt in it, which is good because it kills bacteria.
Right.
If there's anything that may be sitting out. And then it basically, it mellows it out. But the cooking temperature at which you take it off the cook is important, because you ever notice if you just go over medium rare, it's too dry.
It's like, damn it, yep.
And if you don't get it enough, it's like raw, which I don't mind. But when I'm serving it to other people, I realize that they want a medium rare. If you like your shit well done, I'm not cooking for you. I'll tell you right now. Even if when I used to have barbecues at my house, I would get what do you like on your steak, or what do you like your steak? If you liked well done, you didn't get a fucking ribeye. You got the fucking chuck steak, because it don't fucking matter if you want it well done. It don't fucking matter what cut it is.
We got Soldier Boy 4444. I think that's Robert, but I'm not. I think it is, but he says neck shots for shooting the deer. Neck shots.
Yeah, but the neck is some of the best meat.
Yeah, see, that's why I was wondering about headshots this year, because I was looking it up online and I was looking at the different opinions, and some people say instant kill, no panicking, no adrenaline, and perfectly preserved meat. You're not going to have any meat damage.
Well, if you do what I just told you, then you don't got to worry about that, because they're talking about the shock of the blood going into the meat. If you fucking salt water treat it before you do it.
Do you ever do, I do this. I hang it in the freezers.
Don't do that.
Don't.
That is not a good idea, and I'm going to tell you where I learned that from. A guy who was a fucking butcher for 50 fucking years. Okay? They do that with cows because of the fat. Okay? They got a different fat. Anyway, I killed a deer. I used to cut his grass when I had my landscaping company.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I was a butcher, man. And this guy could fucking carve up a fucking deer and all the little steaks. So I was like, he's like, bring it to me, and I'll cut it up. And I said, well, how much will it cost? He said, just give me some of the meat.
Yeah.
Give me not half of it. But I was like, bro, you can have half of it. I don't have room for that much deer, because I'm telling you, I'm killing a lot of fucking deer. I'm killing my max. So he did, and so he would be like, don't fucking hang it in the freezer. Bring it to me right away. Matter of fact, if we can take the hide off of it right here and go at it, that's even better. So if you kill it and you can bring it right here, do it. And he explained it to me on why you shouldn't hang it. Because it doesn't have it's not a cow.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The fat's different.
It's rancid.
And when you hang it in that goddamn, you ever smell that fucking freezer?
Yeah, but
it stinks. It smells like rotten dead shit.
It's a meat freezer, though.
Yeah, but it stinks like fucking rotten meat.
Not always.
And that smell, look, when you smell something, what does that mean?
Bacteria.
There's particles in the air. That's what you're smelling. They're hitting your fucking nose hairs and your senses and your receptacles. And I don't want to hang my meat in that bitch. I have, don't get me wrong, but the best thing you can do is go ahead and take all the meat off the bone right then and there and get it on ice.
I think my biggest thing is, like, usually by the time I shoot one, I had to get it gutted out, skinned out, and I want to just hang it because I don't have. It's already 10 o'clock at night.
It's a time
11
issue.
o'clock at night.
Yeah,
but
I got you. And it's very nice to have that at Fort Bragg.
Yeah, I'm still
that
gonna
alone
hang it.
Is worth $60.
My deer that I've hung has tasted fine. Now, what I do is, after I hang it, if I don't process it right there, what I'll do is I'll take it, and I have one of those long coolers that I spent a little bit of money on. Mm-hmm. I call it a body cooler because it can fit a human, actually. But,
yeah.
And I'll fill it and keep it. I will ice age it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That almost will do the same thing as what I talked about when you put it in salt water. Because what you should do is you should put fucking salt on your ice, because that helps keep the ice like cold. Mm-hmm. It keeps it below or whatever it is. Just a little bit, not a lot, like rock salt or like fucking kosher salt.
Yeah.
And keep the fucking plug out.
Yes, let the water drain.
And let it drain.
But keep that. What you do is you pack the ice up so it's blocking that plug, because you don't want anything to get in there.
Yeah, and you just don't want it sitting in a bunch of water.
No, so you keep. But and I noticed this too. We got to talk about this too. The CWD stuff.
Yeah.
Chronic wasting. So I guess they're going to have testing sites, probably at the skinning shed as well. I know for the guys that are hunting in the surrounding counties, there's a few. Someone posted on the page. There's a few that are set up that are convenient. They're not Fort Bragg or anything, but they're convenient to hunting areas that are on Bragg. For I think Bladen County, and what's that?
Are you going to take yours and get it? Is it optional?
You have to. I think it's mandatory for everybody. If you're in a monitoring area, which we're in the center, we're in the red area.
So where are they going to test our deer? When we check it in?
We got to figure that out. Yeah, I think they're going to have a station at the wildlife. I'm sure the biologists will, but I think they're going to do tissue samples.
I don't know.
We'll figure this out. Yeah,
I
that's
don't
gonna
like
be new.
steps.
I don't either, but
Yeah.
this is a serious thing, and it's something we have to address because it's finally here,
Yeah.
whether we like it or not.
But if it's like voluntary, I'm like,
No, it's mandatory.
I ain't doing
Like
it.
if you're there and you're
Like
hunting Bragg-
Virginia is still fucking, or not Virginia, North Carolina still keeps asking me for a bear tooth.
Really?
Yeah, I guess you're supposed to send in a fucking bear tooth when you kill a bear.
Huh. For their records or what?
I don't know, but it's a step. Just having like, I'll get around to it.
Well, I mean,
it's kind of like paying a bill.
like we talked about before, don't fuck around when it comes to fucking wildlife because that's. Like,
I don't. It's not mandatory. I think it was like you get like they're gonna send you a hat. You send them a fucking tooth, and they send you a fucking patch or a hat or something. I don't know.
But yeah. So that's something I got to look into because I'm in the gray area with that as well. I don't know. I know we have to do it. It's mandatory because we are in the red monitoring area, and so every deer taken a sample has to be taken.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're going to do that at Fort Bragg. The biologists are going to do that.
But
So
I'm just
we got to
wondering,
check it in. So maybe that's where Fort Bragg is awesome because I mean it's more awesome because you got the skin shed and you got the freezer you can hang it in, and they're going to go ahead and they age your deer and they weigh it and they'll probably go ahead and take the sample. We need to find that out.
They're going to be busy this year.
Somebody out there, if you fucking know, I mean, if you know the answer to that question, let us know or send me a text and I'll let you know Saturday when I kill that deer and bring it in because I'll be the first one to drop a deer out there. I promise you.
We'll see. The heat is on.
You and Randy and Willie gonna be fucking deerless well into November. You might get one. I'm gonna be tagged the fuck out by the time.
I'm tagging out this year. I don't care what it takes.
I'll be tagged out by.
Ooh.
I'll be tagged out. I'll have one tag left to the day I leave, which will be one buck tag that I'll save. What's that?
Here I'm about to see because here I am talking about not having anything on camera.
Uh-oh.
I just got a hit. Let's see. Well, did I?
It's a fucking raccoon.
I had a toad. No, the funny thing was the other day I'm like, yeah, because I pulled it up and all of a sudden it said like I had like 7 new images. It was a fucking toad hopping by, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see what I got. Did I get anything?
I got to get those cell cameras.
They're cool, man. And so, dude,
I almost did, but I'm leaving this year. So but here's the thing: I'm not going to be back in time unless I come back for 2 months, which I may. Maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'll come back by myself for a week in September and scouting and set up my cell cams. Then I could be sitting in Nicaragua watching my fucking cams go off.
Yeah, that's a great picture right there. Yep, caught one of them big wind deers again. It's nothing.
Oh,
but yeah, that was weird. It said, "Oh well." But yeah, man.
you need to move that camera.
I do.
I'll tell you where
but
to
you know
put
what?
it. I can show you where to put it where you're going to get deer on there, but then you're going to want to hunt my spot.
Well, here's the thing, though.
But
I'm anxious here just because I know how badass last year was. But now that I think about it, I wasn't getting shit on camera the first couple weeks. I was just seeing them when I was out there.
Yeah.
And it was during the rut. When the rut started kicking up, they started making scrapes.
You killed that motherfucker in October, right? The beginning of the rut.
Right before Halloween.
Right
I think
before,
October
yeah.
25th was the
day. Yeah. I remember
right in that hot air. Yeah. But
where was I hunting that day? I remember that because I remember texting Randy like, this
you were
motherfucker
hunting
just
north,
rolled in.
You were hunting.
I think I was
all the way around.
Was I out at Juniper Creek? Like literally on Juniper Creek?
I think so. Because you were out. You were out. You were like, oh, I'm gonna turn all the way around. You better not be. But it better not be no fucking 4-pointer.
I ain't coming out with no 4-pointer.
But that thing, it was good, man. But yeah. Now that I think about it, I didn't get stuff showing up on camera until about.
You're in a good spot.
Yeah, it is.
Don't marry it.
No,
don't marry it. You got to have other spots. Right. If you're there,
it's my easy spot. Like if
yeah,
I'm pressed
it's easy
for
to
time,
get to. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you where your stand is at, if you go down all the way down where we walk down there and those oaks are down there. We didn't check for acorns. I don't know if they're dropping.
Oh, they're up in the trees.
Okay, so you need to go down there, or if you just keep following that all the way around to the fucking fire break.
Yeah.
And you cross that fire break and go down to that's where I hunt.
Yeah.
So that's probably like maybe 2 grid squares from your area, but it's all on that same creek. So don't marry. I'll hunt the same spot for 2 or 3 days if I feel good about it, but you got to be moving,
Yeah.
And if that spot's not producing, like I'm going to go check my shit tomorrow, find out where I'm hunting Saturday. So, but I'll tell you what, if I go out there and I got a buck on camera, I sent it to you, a little fucking scrub.
Yeah.
But the does are, if you look at that branch that's hanging down is like up to my chest.
Mm-hmm.
So those are mature does out there. So if one of them step out, she's gonna get got.
Yeah.
But in some of my other areas where I put cameras, big oak trees dropping, and I've already jumped a buck. I couldn't tell what it was because by the time I seen him, he was already cutting into the thick part of the woods, but I saw his brown velvet tine, and it looked like 3 or 4, it could have been 4.
Yeah, when you called me, I remember that.
Yeah. I was like, just jumped it.
Man, I was far away that day. I was all the way out on King.
Yeah.
Like out there, I was far. And, I was just doing my normal route. Sheila was with me that day. That was cool.
Yeah.
She's been coming out scouting with me. I like that. It's just time for us to be together.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah.
I love my wife, but she's not into any of the things I'm into. But it's nice when she comes out. So.
Yeah.
But I wish she's going to go and hunt with me, actually, though. She's like, I'll sit there.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. I just know. I know for a fact that
after like 30 minutes, she's going to be like,
cold.
okay.
I'm cold, but she can wear my heated vest.
I like taking Jody hunting because she actually wants to be there. And she'll be quiet hunts. And she will hunt. Now, she'll usually bring like a little crochet thing.
Yeah.
But she keeps it low. We're in a blind, so. But I used to fucking hate taking my ex-wife out. Be like, she would, because, I think she was, she thinks that she's doing it. Like, just. Only time I'm going to get to spend time with them is during the fucking hunting season. But then you get out there and they just don't want to be there.
Speaking of Jody and crocheting, hey, hook a brother up with a beanie before you roll.
Yeah. I got the fucking Super Tramp. I love that thing.
Yeah, man. That's dope.
Did you ever watch Into the Wild?
No.
With about Alexander Supertramp, he went into Alaska and fucking died.
I've heard of his story. I know his story. Yeah.
So in that movie, one of the people he comes across makes him that beanie.
Oh.
And
same colors,
same colors scheme and everything. I seen that. I was like, oh, I want it, and she made it.
That's cool.
And Cliff, no, who was it? Clint, not Clint. Not Cliff Jones, Clint Meyer.
Clint Meyer, yeah.
He wanted one, and he was going to pay her like $50, and she started on it, but then she didn't finish it.
Tell you what, man, that's about right for beanies. Jody says best movie ever. Jody's tuned in. What's up, Jody?
What's up, baby? I didn't know you were watching. You didn't chime in yet.
And soundtrack.
Yeah, Eddie Vedder does the whole soundtrack with the ukulele, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool. I'll check that one out, man. That may be good.
You and Jody and your music is probably more in line. That's one thing. I think she likes all the music that I like because I like all the mainstream Chili Pepper shit, but she likes like track 4, side B, album 6 that nobody bought, and she's constantly on that Soundhound on the TV, like making a playlist.
I'm gonna tell people, man, honestly, like this is off of hunting, but some of the best like music I've ever found. Did that sound right?
Yeah. That you ever found, yeah.
Like surfing movies and skateboarding videos, because it's always like just off the wall shit that's not mainstream. And there's some really like some of the best songs and bands I've ever discovered.
Yeah, but do you know what that means?
What?
It means it's shit music. It sucks.
Because it's not expensive
to
get the rights to. But you know what? It's not.
I'm just kidding.
It's a good movie, man.
No, you're right. No, I have. Funny enough, I've heard songs in videos like that and been like, that's a badass song. And then they ended up going mainstream.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
That I have an ear for the shit. You remember that? You know that song Sail?
Oh, God.
Okay, but when it first came out, it was on a fucking video.
It was cool. Yeah.
It was a video of a guy when the squirrel suit flying.
Yeah,
suit.
I remember that.
Remember that video?
Wow, I remember that.
And that was like, it had just come out, and I watched it, and I was like, I like that fucking song. And then like, I don't know, 6 months later, it was an actual like video, and it was a hit.
Yeah.
And when we first heard it, it wasn't.
I'll tell them about our little game that we have. So I got that stupid fucking Maki Ball song stuck in my head.
That song is dope, bro.
No, it's not. But it's funny because like a random video, and it's really popular. That song actually came out like 5 years ago, and it wasn't popular 5 years ago. But now it's TikTok does weird things.
Yeah.
And it's resurfaced on TikTok, and Buddy Yard even says skate videos have the best music. Facts, facts, man. Still to this day. Like style and music. Honestly, skateboarding has it did a lot for culture, a lot. Mm-hmm. But bringing
merging
stuff,
so many
and,
things
like,
together.
It's just awesome now. But so if I find a random video, like what I send you, this dude cutting meat with a spoon, and you turn the sound on, it's that damn Maki Baha song, and that's the song that you'll have stuck in your head for like 3 fucking days, and then it will go away.
I'm gonna tell you why I like music like that.
Yeah,
it's nostalgic for me because lived. I grew up in the Philippines in the red light district.
Oh yeah.
And I know that like when Barbie Girl, everybody hates that. When that song, or there's other songs. It's called Brother Louie. I don't know. You probably never heard it. It's like a German disco song.
Sheila
Brother
likes it.
Louie,
Yeah.
Louie, Louie. Dun, dun,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun. When that song came on, the mama son got every booty shaking in that club. You know what I'm saying? So
Philippines is cool, man, because like stuff that died here years ago is still it's reborn in the Philippines. Like you go to the mall, and I don't know about now. This was back in the mid 2000s, but think about tribal gear. Tribal gear was from it peaked in like 1997. You remember tribal gear?
Yeah, I didn't wear it.
It was like the breakdancer urban shit.
Yeah.
POD did a thing, but these brands like tribal gear, Dickies. What's another one? Converse. And but it happens here too, because what came back? Champion came back here, and that blew my mind because Champion used to be the fucking Kmart.
See, in New York, in North Carolina, Champion was Kmart, but in New York City in
hot
1991, 92, that was the shit.
But you go to the shop. I remember it tripped me out because I went to the mall, and this is in 2008, and there was a tribal store, and I was like, no fucking way. And I thought that was kind of dope because I thought tribal gear was cool, but when it was cool, I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool, man. But then you go. And with my wife's Filipino, and she knows so many cool retro songs that I have no idea what they are. And I'm like, you know this song? She's like, oh yeah, it's really popular over there.
Hey, there's two songs from the 80s, no matter where you go in the Philippines, when you hear Who Can It Be Knocking at My Door, everybody in the bar simultaneously will go.
That's cool.
And then there's another one that's John Cougar, Mellencamp, Hurt So Good.
Yeah.
All the Filipinos will go, Masakit, Masarap. No matter where you hurt, because Masakit means hurt, Masarap means beautiful.
Beautiful.
Or good.
It's it can mean beautiful, can mean delicious.
Delicious, yeah. Masakit, it's
Masarap.
funny that no matter, even in so that shows you the type of bars that I grew up in.
Yeah, dude.
But even outside of those bars where it's just like a bar where there's not, ill repute.
Yeah.
But that shit doesn't go the way the Philippines, we have to talk about, that's a totally different subject. It doesn't work the same way as what people think. It's not like an auction block.
No.
So.
Oh, Jody says Men at Work. That's another good
Men
one.
at Work, yeah.
That's a good one.
Somewhere there's a fucking cassette tape of me and my brother and my sister doing lip syncing to that song.
Like a video?
Like a video.
Oh, man.
And somewhere there's a video of me and my brother and my friend at the time, Jason Michaud, I think Michaud, and we're fucking imitating Poison. I'm like CC DeVille and he's Brett singing, and we're talking 10, 11 years old. So that's old enough to be dorky almost. You would think, but to us it was fun. We were going to do the talent show.
Yeah.
And then of course my mom's the ultimate fucking dream killer, where most parents would be like, oh, that's great. You guys keep practicing and I hope you win. And my mom was like, where's the talent?
Oh Lord. See, I know now. That makes a lot of sense now.
That's where I get it from. She's like, anybody can fucking lip sync.
What makes you fucking
And we were just crushed.
Yeah.
But she was right.
So there you go. Now you hear it. Poor little Buddy Feeney. He could have been a freaking American Idol.
Maybe, but I had no talent. I'm just now. I've been playing the guitar now for about 8 months, but I still ain't doing bar chords.
Hey man, you
can't fucking do it. It don't fucking work. I can't pick it, but yeah, but maybe going back to what we were talking about 2 hours ago, maybe that's what's missing in parenting.
Yeah.
Maybe having a kid who has no talent and he's trying to do something and you're like, oh, you're the best champ.
Giving him you're gaslighting him. That's
You're
what you're doing.
You're like, yeah, do it. When you know that he sucks at it, maybe say, look, I'm not saying that you can't ever do it, but right now you shouldn't be going for a talent show because you're not. There's no talent.
That's a fact, man.
Now where my parents did fail is I've always wanted to. My whole life I wanted to be a rock star. Okay, that was my goal.
You think?
When I used to draw pictures of what you want to do when you grow up, in first, second, third grade. Did you draw a bunch of
cocaine and hookers?
No, but I drew Tommy Lee on. Remember the fucking drum set that used to spin upside down? Yeah. I would draw me upside down in this big, because I knew the picture. Tommy Lee was my fucking idol when I was a kid, and I wanted to play guitar. And my parents would just say, all the greatest guitarists never had lessons. So if you really wanted to learn, you would figure it out. okay, can I get a guitar? You know, all the greatest guitars, they had to like scrimp and save.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, at some point buy the kid a fucking guitar and get him a lesson.
I'm somewhere in between that too, because like my problem is my parents just couldn't afford the shit I liked at all. So it was always a dream, you know?
Yeah.
And my uncle who just passed away, God bless him, but he tried to he's responsible for me pursuing stuff and learning stuff when I was
But you know how to play you can tune a guitar by ear.
that's a gift I have, man.
So that's something that you maybe could have done with your life, bro.
I can play the drums like a motherfucker though, dude.
So why didn't you do that? I mean, it's probably too old now. You could probably be in a Christian contemporary band.
Yeah. I was in a couple hardcore bands and stuff. Like high school I hung out with the rockers, and Washington State, when I moved up there, I had a bunch of punk rock buddies. We were like the outcast rocker kids that weren't cool, but now are cool. But they had a little band, and like fucking, they had instruments, and my buddy Joel, dude, he lived in a little tiny house. They had a freaking goat named Moses, and
awesome.
they had a little shed in the back.
I had a goat once.
We were like the hooligan kids, we'd be drinking and smoking and doing fucking drugs and just rocking all day.
Yeah.
And I would stand in and drum with them because like they were a rock band, but they're more like just like slow, kind of like hard rock, kind of like their style would be more like. They were rock. They weren't like heavy hardcore shit. But I was like, I'm high strung. And I don't know if you noticed, but like I'm always beating on shit. Like I always have a beat in my head. It's weird. But I got really good at drums.
I just thought that was the drugs.
No, I'm not on drugs. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not. I'm just high strung.
I thought that was the fucking Ritalin you were snorting.
No, I don't fucking do Ritalin. But anyways.
See, if I would have had that talent as a kid,
yeah,
I would either be a very successful musician today or a struggling musician today, because I would have went all in on that.
Now my cousin,
whether it got me, the drugs got me, but see, even with the drugs, I've done drugs, but I've never ever let drugs get away from me.
Right.
Like I could go to sleep with an 8-ball of cocaine in my dresser drawer. I could go to sleep. I didn't have to get up and do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe like one more bump.
See,
2 hours later, one more. But I would have pursued that.
That's, and I regret that. My cousin now, like because my grandma was a pianist. I think I've told you her story. I think we talked about it the very first podcast we ever did. But she did instill that in us very young. And I grew up listening to piano in the background always. So that's why I pick up on tones. And my dad was a guitarist, and he was going to become a musician, but then he had a family, and my mom can sing.
Yeah.
So it's naturally.
Can you sing? Can you carry a note?
I can actually sing, man.
Can you?
I can. Yes.
Come on. What's your style of music you like to sing?
Whatever, dude. I sing karaoke. My wife actually. I used to be really shy, so I wouldn't sing.
Am I the only one that wants to hear this motherfucker sing something right now?
Bro, I swear to God. Come over and karaoke sometime, man. Like my wife got that. Going to the Philippines did that for me because you're gonna.
Do you know the words to Hallelujah? That's an a cappella song.
It's not. I still. All right. So get me a little bit.
Okay, I got you.
Get me a little bit buzzed.
Yeah.
And get me on a karaoke machine. I can sing.
I had a friend growing up, and she was a female. She was a very good guitarist. Like phenomenally sick. Like how she could shred this guitar. She's a very introverted person. Then I had a friend of mine that was a drummer naturally.
Yeah.
Okay. And his brother had a Fender guitar, so he told me he could play the guitar. So I was like, I can't do any of this shit. So I'm just like, I'm put this band together. And we all smoked weed, so it was like something to do. And so Steve couldn't play the guitar, but found out that the motherfucker could sing. And we were sitting in the car one day smoking dope, and I was listening to Pearl Jam. I had Pearl Jam, the first Alive album, and Jeremy was on, and I could hear him just harmonizing with it. Yeah. He wasn't singing loud. He was just, what we do, we're high. And I was like, I turned the radio down. I was like, bro, can you sing? He was like, nah. He was very shy about it.
I'm shy about it, man.
But we finally got him to do it.
Yeah.
And we didn't have phones back then to be able to record it. But this motherfucker, it's Steve Darner, and he's on my Facebook page. I know he ain't watching this. This motherfucker could sing. And so Carol would play, like Stone Temple Pilots. That was his style. He could probably sing anything, but that was the time, was like Stone Temple Pilots, Eddie Vedder and all that. And I was just like, God, I was so fucking jealous. And his brother Phil could drum and Carol could play. And I was like, man, if I could do anything, we would be a band. Because I'm the motherfucker that's like, let's go film, let's go fucking record, let's go set up on a street corner.
You have the drive.
I got but I had no talent except for that.
Well, you do. You just have talents in other things, man.
No, I mean, musically, if I would have been able to play the guitar and he sang or play the bass, I even bought a bass. I was like, oh, it's only 4 strings.
Yeah.
But I just,
no, that shit's hard, man.
but who's going to teach you? You know what I mean? So I don't know. But
my, it's funny because like I've always been shy about that. Like it's in the Army though. You know what got me confident to sing was I would get out there and I would rock fucking cadence, dude.
Yeah.
And like I even got told, one of my soldiers was like, "Sergeant Wheeler, you got soul, man," and that was a compliment to me.
Yeah.
And like that was something I was just really good at, and I could get I did freaking.
You see that kid topping the billboards right now with cadence?
No.
There's a fucking guy. He's like #1 in the
Cadence
billboards.
is awesome, man.
I posted it on my Facebook page. He's actually singing like, "Hey, hey, Captain Jack," but he's doing it. The only thing I don't like about him,
is he a soldier?
he used to be. I don't know. He's not anymore. He's singing cadence like you do, but he's doing it with the soul. The only thing I don't like about him is when you watch him, he does the same thing with his, he does this thing with his arms, and I don't like it.
Yeah,
it gets on my fucking nerves. And I think I've listened to him so much now that I fucking hate his guts. But when I first heard it, I was like, because when you did get a fucking drill sergeant or a NCO that liked doing cadence, and they could sing it, it was fun.
Yeah.
It made the walk fun. You were proud of yourself. Everybody chipped in, and but just most of the time it was, C-130 rolling down the strip. It was the same thing over and over.
I used to make up some shit. I sang Boys in the Hood as a cadence.
Yeah.
Except I made an Army twist to it. Like woke up
that's
quick
cool.
about first sergeant. Like I got to get, what was it, before first sergeant starts bitching about my friends or some shit.
Yeah.
But that was my thing, man. And that got me confident. But then when I met my wife.
Hey, we got something right here. This fucking guy is doing it, and he's really not that good, but people want to hear it.
Yeah.
Maybe you got all the technology. You got a fucking booster. You got a microphone. You got a fucking iPad. You can get fucking the music. You can you can create it all, and you can put it on fucking. I don't know if SoundCloud's a thing now, but you can put it on iTunes. That's what I'm saying. You could do that.
Yeah.
Because you can sing, and you do know the cadence, and you could figure all that shit out, and you could go and I don't know in 6 months make $1 million.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just.
I wish I could, because I definitely would.
Yeah. Another thing, like, what was I used to do this when I was a kid. Like my uncle, the uncle that passed away, he got me a drum set, and that was huge, man. That was fucking huge. So he sent it to Virginia, and it stayed in my garage while I was in Virginia, and I didn't have anything else really as far as hobby shit. I did a little Civil War stuff, but we were very fucking broke at that time. But what I used to do was I used to get out, and I did this again in California too when I went back. But I used to go out when I was really fucked up, and like I would either skate or I would take my Walkman and I would put the Sublime tape in, and I would drum through the whole album. And I would do that with Sublime. I did it with what are they called? Oh God, System of a Down.
Oh yeah,
so that style of music, dude.
Yeah.
But the singing thing, like I said, when I met my wife, karaoke is huge in the Philippines. Like
that's like culture in the Philippines.
When you think about karaoke in America, it's a lot of people are shy about singing. Americans are. Filipinos, they just sing. They sing and they dance. Doesn't matter if they can or can't. They just do it.
Yep.
It's expression.
They do it.
And in like
unshyly, is that a word? They're not. What is it? No shame.
It's
shamelessly.
Like you're gonna get up and sing, so,
whether you can or not. But most of them can.
Yeah. So, but that's I always knew I could keep a tone, but that's what really got me in front of people singing and like being calm. But I still gotta be a little bit. My inhibitions have to be removed a little bit. Like I have to be. I like to go and do karaoke when I'm drinking.
It's fun.
I hate to say it, but
I'll sing karaoke when I'm drinking, and I can't sing. I can't sing for shit. But I'll do it when I'm drinking.
When I realized, like, I got up one time. I went out on leave, and my buddy June picked me up, and this was kind of cool actually. But we went to a Filipino bar, and it wasn't that crowded. But I got up on stage, and he forced me to get up on stage. But I had this one song I learned when I was in the Philippines. It's in Tagalog. It's Bamboo. I don't know if you heard of him. It's a famous song. It's called Hallelujah. It's a really dope song. But I sang that shit in fucking, like, perfect. Yeah. And, like, even the people on stage were like, holy shit, dude. Like, what the fuck is this white dude doing? Like, singing. Right. That sounds like, ooh, cultural appropriation or shit.
You could probably be famous in the Philippines. Kind of like Modest Yahoo. You know who Modest Yahoo is?
I missed the fucking, because everyone does that now. Like, it's not a big deal over there anymore. You got foreigners fucking rocking Tagalog and shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Because the internet, man. This is like, the internet's really done that to open up culture.
If I would have raised my kids there, because my oldest daughter was born in Manila. If we would have stayed there, that was a big thing then, was all of the actresses were like whatever they call the mestizas.
Yeah,
Is that what
yeah.
they call them.
Mestizas,
They were
mestizos.
like half, and that was a big thing. But I didn't stick around there. I kind of wish I did sometimes, but
I'll tell you what, man. The big thing in the Philippines is cover bands, dude, and like that's a normal thing, And like there was that Anthony Bourdain did an episode about Christmas over there. It's fucking on Parts Unknown. That's such a great. But he was like, listen up, spoiled American rock stars. He's like, if you ever think you're fucking badass, he's like, there's someone over here that can do your job better than you.
They are very good
man.
at imitating the singers that they're singing. They can imitate their voice and their accent and sing it. Yeah. Yeah, karaoke's big there. I mean, my first wife was Filipino, and we were married 8 years, 7.5, 8 years, and karaoke was like a part of the house.
Yeah,
it was a part of life and that's one thing I did like about about their culture. It's very similar to like Mexican culture, family, and not just family. Your friends, they come over, they eat like. There was not a month that ever went by that like at least 4 of her friends came over. They had food, which meant their husbands had to come.
Yeah.
And I didn't have shit in common with any of them. You know what I mean?
But fun though, man.
I met a few of them. We're kind of, we had a good time. We drank beer, or we'd go over the Phil Am Club and stuff like that. It was, it was good. And then you go and you marry, my next wife was American, and all the friends were all now gringos and non-traveled. It was so different, and the family atmosphere, I like that. That's why I'm drawn to that type of culture.
Yeah. I mean, when you drink in the Philippines, you don't just go to a bar and sip your drink. You sit in a circle with your homies, and you pass a cup around.
Yeah.
You finish, cool. And then the guitars come out. And
with your fucking beer on ice.
Yeah,
I didn't go to those bars. I went to all the gringo bars where
they got like cocktails and shit.
Yeah, they're fucking cold beer and Mama San.
But dude, it's called Tagay. That's what it's called. When you sit in a circle and you go to any neighborhood, man, and sometimes it's 7, 8 in the morning.
Yeah, you hung out in the Filipino hood.
But like
I lived in the hood, but I hung out with fucking. I was on P. Burgo Street, but I lived in Barangay. Not Barangay. I lived in Poblacion.
Yeah.
So that's a little fucking barangay, which I guess means neighborhood.
But it's just a social thing, and I'm sure now, back when I was there last, phones weren't a big thing. But I'm sure now the kids probably do the same thing, but they're probably still all on their phones in a circle. But it's a cool social thing.
Oh, like phones are bigger there than the phones have always been bigger in the Philippines than they were here. When I lived in the Philippines, I left there in 2001, and I had a Nokia digital fucking cell phone.
Korea too.
When I came here, they only had analog.
Yeah.
Okay. By the time we got the iPhone, which was like 2G, they were already on like fucking 4G.
Yeah.
So the technology is better over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Because in Korea, they were ahead too. Like when I went to Korea in 2002, they already had badass phones.
Yeah. You know why?
Samsung.
Nope.
Because of their
what? Infrastructure.
Yeah, true.
They can. The United States rolls out an analog cellular system. They got to cover 50 states. It costs billions, so they're going to make their money back. That's why you can't. That's why when you get a fucking phone from AT&T, you got to use AT&T. You can't just go buy a phone. In the rest of the world, you buy a phone, and then you go to AT&T and you buy a chip. You go to Sprint, you buy, and you can switch them out all you want.
Yeah.
You just buy the service. But here, the companies, that's what you think you're a fucking free country.
Yeah.
Americans are that fucking untraveled. How would you know?
Well, you wouldn't
if I
know.
tell you you're a free country and America's the greatest country in the world, if I tell you that your whole life and you never leave the United States, you're gonna fucking believe it. I just found out when I was like 19 because I left the United States, and that was a blow to my ego, hanging around with all these Brits and South Africans and Australians that were all like fucking 15, 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that everybody wants to come to the United States, and you haven't really made it in the world unless you make it in the United States, and America's just the best. And to see them not reciprocate that idea was almost like I got offended.
Yeah.
Like, of course it is.
Through your whole freaking existence.
And they're, and when they're just passing you off as, oh, he's only 19 years old. You don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I'm like, what? America's the best, and they're just like, yeah, I've been there, mate. Don't want to go back. I'm going to go for a visit, but I'm never going to live there. You fucking think you're a free country. And that's when I started seeing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's an eye opener for sure. Like I actually got back here, man, after being overseas, and I was like, man, it was just boring. Everything felt so just like I can't explain it. Like everything felt dull.
It's so boring here.
It is, but you know what?
Sometimes it's nice, though.
But I love the beauty of this country. We have beautiful places.
Yeah, well then live there.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand why people. I
love seasons. I do.
I'm guilty of it too. I have been, but now I'm not living that way no more. If I look at the fucking mountains and that's where I want to be, that's where I'm fucking going, bro.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. You know. If I want to live, I'm just going to do that. I'm doing it now. I mean, I literally want to live in Central America, so I'm going.
Man,
I ain't never been to Nicaragua. People are like, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube channel because there's not a whole lot of stuff on Nicaragua. I'm thinking about doing it with Jody and John and the this. We're got our passports. They got and we're selling everything and we're going and this is what this cost and this is what we're doing. And then life down there. But I don't know if I could recommend doing it the way I did it. Like I've literally fucking took out a lease on a house. Never been there. I'm moving to an area I ain't never been.
Dude, you know what though, man? Like honestly, that's a cool thing to do.
That is,
and you're not gonna be doing anything else. So might as well.
That makes
surfing
life so exciting.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's an adventure. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. If we don't like it, we'll go to Costa Rica. Maybe we'll go to El Salvador. Maybe we'll go to Bali next year.
Hey,
Bali, son. Have you seen Bali?
Bali's fucking awesome. And I told you, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I blew it years ago when I was in Korea and I knew a bunch of English teachers and they were girls and I was single, so it was really fun. But they all went and like they rented this badass vehicle and they're like, dude, you surf, like go with us.
Uh-huh.
And my dumbass didn't have a passport. And I thought it was so impossible to get a passport. And I was like 21, 22. No, I was 23 at the time, but I was like, no, I'll do it. And that's one of my regrets too, because like Bali is freaking amazing, especially for surfing. And like back then it was before social media, because social media does that to places. Social media is cool, but at the same time it blows up spots out of control.
Yeah, but you know what that does? That forces people to go find a new spot.
True.
Like where was Popoyo fucking 5? I never heard of it until like this year. Not not that I've been in the fucking know for that long, but I've heard of, even before I started surfing, I knew about Costa Rica being a surf destination and I knew about Pipeline. I knew about some places, but like El Salvador, that's kind of like because some of these places were dangerous to go to.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Like the world has, I mean, honestly, I can say right now, if I traveled to Baghdad, I could probably walk around on the street and be okay.
Yeah, I think
right now. So that's true too.
Look. Yeah, we can get into the whole thing.
The
Iraqis were never the problem there.
Oh, I know. We're probably at 3 hours right now.
We need to cut it short. We're at 2:36.
That's about normal.
10:07. Yeah, that's about right.
But
because you actually showed up on time today.
Yeah, I did. I was actually still. But
no, it was we started at like 7:30. We're good.
7:35. Yeah.
I didn't even get here till like maybe 10 minutes before you, and I'm normally here at like 5:30.
And it sucks because we got more people hopping on right now too. But hey, if you're just tuning in, thanks for tuning in. We had a good episode, so you can, once we drop it, go rewind and listen. But things are going on. Is hunting season's about to kick off.
Yeah.
Surfing season's already kicked off. Yeah. We're getting some major swell next week. So the topics are probably going to be mostly hunting and surfing focused here.
Yeah. This comes down to people ask, who'd asked me last week? I think it might have been Jody, but somebody else asked me. I think it might have been Applesauce, Todd Applesauce. His name is, Gator, whatever. I don't know if he wants his real name.
Just
out
funny
there.
because I think every hobby, like I have a bunch of different hobbies and they all have their groups.
Yeah.
But there's always, for some reason, it's always an applesauce. Like we call someone applesauce.
Well, his name actually sounds like you can't pronounce his last name. If I show it to you, you're gonna be like, what? So we just blah, 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 applesauce. But he asked me if I would rather if I would quit hunting for surfing or surfing for hunting.
I don't think that's possible.
I don't know, because like during the surfing, that's all I want to do. Yeah. Hunting's like, I don't even want, hunting season's coming. Maybe I'll get into it this year. I'll do it. But now that it's here and I'm going to start hunting.
That's what I'm thinking about
it's
too,
like,
man.
Am I going to go surfing? Like last year I went like 3 or 4 times. You know what I mean? So,
but another thing too is last hunting season, your surfing was just starting to develop.
Right. Yeah.
And before that, you weren't even, I wouldn't even say you were surfing. You were out there.
I was out there, but
you thought you were surfing, but you're still having fun.
Yeah. It was fun, but it was learning. But now I'm like making stride. Now I'm getting into the pocket, and I'm. But also, now I find you know what got me last time that I fucking learned that made. I mean, I've seen it, but when you actually do it for the first time on purpose, is the drop in, the turn. That's okay. That's easy enough. But I'm like, why do I keep a turn? You got to like turn again, and stay with. So you're doing this the whole time.
Maneuver around the
and you're just like anyway. So I'll see. We'll get some surfing in, but I'm about to be in the surf destination.
Exactly.
So fuck it. Hunting's gonna probably
spearfishing though. You got to get into.
I will. Man. I'm gonna do it all, man. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do everything except worry about who needs what on their. What materials need to be at what address, and
there you go.
Who fucking owes me money, and all
you're gonna be worried about is what kind of ceviche you're gonna make.
What kind of ceviche?
But dude, no, honestly though, man, like you're gonna think about how much stuff that now that you do on a daily basis that you're not gonna have to even worry about or do. So you're gonna have a lot of this time down there. You are, and it's a foreign country.
Yeah.
It's not like here where I can go do this or I can go do that. But you'll
have there ain't shit there.
Exactly. So, dude, do the YouTube thing, man. Fuck
yeah, I am. I'm going to bring my cigar. I'm going to go back to doing my cigar reviews because I just enjoy doing that.
Get yourself a nice hammock with the beach right there in your spot with the background of the beach. And people will just like to that'll just calm people down watching that shit, man. I'll watch that shit. I'm going to be living vicariously through you.
Yeah.
And I already know you're going to be rubbing in my fucking face.
Because you're going to have to get down there, bro. You got to come down there. Something's going
to happen, man. Like I said, I'm going through some shit right now with what you're tracking. And right now, that's my focus, and I have to be around for that.
But but that situation, you would actually be closer if you were in Nicaragua. You would be closer to that situation than you are here, and it's it's not like So what's gonna have to happen is you're just gonna have to fucking,
just life, dude.
You're gonna have to fucking get 5 plane tickets.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You don't have to pay for them all up front now. You can put them on fucking Afterpay or
that
Affirm.
Shit's awesome, man.
And you can buy them now for like the summertime and come down. You ain't got to fucking. I mean, you can get an Airbnb if you want. Y'all can stay at our place and kids can sleep bunked up in the room or on the balcony. I don't give a fuck. Come down there and spend about a fucking week, and that's when you can look at your wife and kids and be like, we could fucking live here.
Yeah. See if they like it too.
Kids don't ever want to leave where they're at because they got friends here. But when they get down and they're like, I'm telling you right now, I don't know. If my parents would have been like, you want to stay here in Fayetteville and go to school and all that? Or do you want to move to the Bahamas?
Yeah.
This is before I was surfing. So the Bahamas was like, I watched Cocktail. Tom Cruise was the man in the 80s. I would have been like, fuck yes.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, anyway.
But yeah, man, I mean, shit.
I'll be rubbing it in.
Yep. So the point is life's hard. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking countries going crazy right now, and there's a lot of stress. But get out there, get in the fucking woods, get in the water, find your thing, man, and do it. And you know what? Tap into those talents too.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. We talk about all the time. You know what sucks? We had that really good podcast that one time where we fucking were like just on a life breakthrough, and it didn't fucking record.
Yeah.
Man, dude, I walked away that day and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like I had a new perspective on everything.
Well, that's good. That's talking is the therapy.
Yeah.
You ever watch that show, The Sopranos?
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to get Jody to watch it, and she's like, I don't want to watch it. I want to watch This Is Us. And I'm like, you gotta watch The Sopranos. It's the greatest one of the greatest, the originals. So I started watching it again because there's nothing else on. Probably like my 6th time going through it, starting over.
Yeah.
But so she's hooked on it. She's up till 5 a.m. last night fucking watching it.
You know what I've gotten on recently? And I used to hate it when I was a kid. I thought it was so boring. But after being in the Army, I love it. MASH.
MASH is a great show.
MASH is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I get it. You were older than me. And it used to come on. I remember it come on in the evenings.
But for me, I was still a young kid when that was on. I hated it when I was a kid.
Right. So I would watch like the intro and then I'd be like, well, this is boring. But now, like, it's funny because having been in the Army and just knowing how the Army works on a daily basis, like, it's great because it's very accurate and it shows officers, and it's even funnier because it shows medical officers, which are a totally different breed.
Yeah.
And like I can sit there and I love that show. Like, so I've been watching MASH like religiously. I'm trying to get through. But I'm stupid because like same with The Sopranos. I've watched The Sopranos in bits and pieces.
Oh,
I watched the ending.
No,
already,
man.
the final episode.
Yeah.
Because it came up on the internet.
Go back and start that shit from the beginning. But in the show, the premise of the show is he goes to a psych.
He goes to a shrink. Yep.
He goes to a shrink, but he uses the the talking is the therapy for him, but he kind of uses it to figure out how to run his criminal empire.
Yeah, yeah.
And just from talking to a professional, so that's just what dialogue can do. Like you could just, perspective gets changed. This may not be perspective, but I wasn't into like this whole scent control thing, but talking to a guy, like, all right, maybe I'll try it. You know what I mean? Because I've never talked to anybody that laid it out. They would just say, some people are like, oh, if you don't do it, you're stupid. Right. Or some people, like, I think even like Jonathan's a guy that he believes in it.
Yeah.
And you say, well, I don't. He's like, well, okay.
Yeah, he's like, do your thing.
He's not like
Jonathan, bro. If you're out there, man, come back on.
Yeah.
I know you're busy, but yeah, man. So.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. I got to pee, and I started smoking cigars again, and I really want to
I
light this
started
bitch
vaping
up.
again. See what's going on.
But you can smoke in. I can't smoke in here. You can do that while we're doing that. No.
Dude,
I don't want to.
It's banana bread, bro.
This is a Fuente. This is a Chateau Fuente Connecticut shade wrapper. The original Fuentes. All right, peace out, y'all. Thanks
this
for tuning
is how
in.
copy. That's a good copy, and we are out.
All right, don't say nothing bad. I don't want to hear about that.
Jody said, "Don't spoil it." I don't know what she was probably talking about. Moving.
No, she's probably talking about The Sopranos.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah.
All right, I think we're off.